Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The Director of Education says no concern of language barriers in schools. The Beaches and Parks Chair defending the work of that department promises full transparency on their budget overrun. And the Labor Minister says the government will move forward with another minimum wage increase responsibly. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, September 19th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Ricardo Wells will be here. Also this morning, we're talking with Trish Hanna about her new book about dreams and your children. And later in business, it's our monthly human resource series. Thompson is going to be back with us. We're talking about unbossing. Unbossing. What exactly is that all about? We're going to find out this morning. That's all ahead, but first it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Bahamas Public Parks and Beaches Authority Executive Chairman Michael Bonnaby has finally broken his silence about the authority's $7 million budget overrun in the 2024-2025 fiscal year. He's deflecting concerns about the poor state of parks on New Providence. The government budgeted $24 million for the authority in the 24-25 fiscal year. However, between July 2024 and March 2025, the authority spent $31 million. In June, during his budget contribution in Parliament, Bonnaby failed to outline or account for the spending of the authority or why it exceeded its budget in the 24-25 fiscal year. Instead, he spent his time lambasting the FNM and former Prime Minister Dr. Buminis over its handling of the COVID pandemic. Since then, the Nassau Guardians featured nearly a dozen parks on New Providence with deteriorating or damaged playgrounds. And for months, the Nassau Guardian reached out to Bonnaby via text and calls, but never received a response. Well, during an event hosted by the authority at Goodman's Bay yesterday, Bonnaby finally addressed the issue, noting that it should be noted the Nassau Guardian was not invited to that event. But Bonnaby telling reporters, quote, "It may be a matter of semantics, but the fact of the matter is that when we get to the midterm budget, the government decides what it wants to do in terms of reallocation. It's a reallocation exercise. I don't view it as an overspending exercise." Bonnaby pointed to work he said was not done at the parks during COVID-19 when the FNM was in power. He added that people cannot simply look at what's happening at parks and beaches myopically and simply say and questioned why nothing was done at a park. Bonby also said he intends to do a media run and said that he would go to ZNS and other media houses to give a full account of everything that's happened at parks and beaches. Director of Education Dominique McCartney-Russell dismissing concerns that there's an uptick in non-English speaking students in public schools. Public school teachers took to social media to report that uptick in students that do not speak English nor understand it. And BUT president, the union president, Belinda Wilson, has also said that some public school teachers reported the uptick and warned that the barrier is creating behavior and learning disruptions in the classroom. But McCartney-Russell saying yesterday that there is no information to suggest that the issue is prevalent. McCartney-Russell also saying 3 weeks after schools reopened, the ministry is addressing principal vacancies and is implementing new security measures in public schools. She says that they're still interviewing applicants at the commission and that they should be finished with the principals by tomorrow. She says that the ministry will promote a few lower grade school principals to fill the gaps in secondary positions. From the courts, a jury acquitting a high school track coach accused of molesting a student athlete by a count of 6-2 after deliberating for 3 hours. 54-year-old Robert Ayton faced charges of unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor of the same sex and indecent assault. The crimes allegedly happened in 2019 and 2020 when the victim was 15 and 16 years old. The virtual complainant testified that Ayton grabbed his crotch during a massage at a training session, causing him to stop going to practice for a while. The complainant also alleged that when he resumed training, while alone in the gym, Ayton, his coach, locked the door and forced him to perform oral sex. He alleged that on another occasion, Ayton penetrated him. Ayton denied the allegations. Another member of the track team testified for Ayton, saying the complainant was known to tell lies. The accuser also claimed that Ayton was circumcised, but his doctor testified that that wasn't true. And the Davis administration is keen to move forward on another minimum wage increase in a responsible way, but has not yet received a recommendation on the matter from the National Tripartite Council. That's according to Minister of Labor and Public Service Pia Glover-Roll. She was giving remarks on Abaco Business Outlook in Marsh Harbor, where she hit out at, quote, certain people who have publicly called for another minimum wage increase despite knowing the government is following an established process which entails stakeholder consultation before any change is made. Her comments coming after Trade Union Congress President Obie Ferguson criticized the current minimum wage of $260 per week earlier this week, repeating his calls for the government to increase it to $350. Glover-Roll says the established process for the government in instances like these starts with recommendations from the Tripartite Council, which includes government stakeholders, union representatives, and employers, the Employers Confederation. Overseas, there is, quote, absolutely no evidence that Russia's President Vladimir Putin wants to negotiate peace in Ukraine. That's according to the head of Britain's Foreign Intelligence Agency in an outgoing speech. Chief of the Secret Intelligence Service, or MI6, Richard Moore, says Putin was, quote, stringing us along, saying, quote, he seeks to impose his imperial will by all means at his disposal, but he cannot succeed. Putin has bitten off more than he can chew. He thought he was going to win an easy victory, but he and many others underestimated the Ukrainians. The war has continued unabated in the 3 years since Russia invaded its neighbor, despite renewed U.S.-led efforts in recent months to steer Moscow and Kyiv to a settlement. Ukraine has accepted proposals for a ceasefire and a summit meeting, but Moscow has demurred. U.S. President Donald Trump said Thursday during a state visit to the United Kingdom that Putin, quote, has really let me down in the peace efforts. Moore was speaking at the British consulate in Istanbul after 5 years as head of MI6. He leaves the post at the end of September. The agency will then get its first female chief. And the UN Security Council is expected to vote on a resolution today on whether to reimpose sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program, as European officials warn Tehran that time is running out to come to a diplomatic resolution ahead of next week's annual United Nations gathering of world leaders. The resolution put forth by South Korea, the current president of the 15-member council, would require at least 9 votes to halt the sanctions from taking effect at the end of the month, as outlined by Iran's 2015 nuclear deal with world powers. Diplomats have indicated that despite differing views, there is not enough support to avoid all sanctions against Iran without any conditions. And a major cycling race in Spain was disrupted by protests against an Israeli team. A basketball game in Poland was preceded by fans booing the Israeli national anthem, and several European countries are threatening to boycott a signature entertainment event if Israel takes part. The global backlash against Israel over the humanitarian toll of the war in Gaza has spread into the arenas of sports and culture. Israel's critics say it should be sidelined from international events, just like Russia has been since its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Unlike Russia, which faced widespread condemnation and Western sanctions, Israel has not been shut out by global sports institutions like the International Olympic Committee or world soccer body FIFA. Besides a small international Muay Thai federation, there's been little will in international sports to prevent Israeli athletes from competing under their national flag. And a spokesperson for Haiti's national police says that officers killed former rebel leader Wilford Ferdinand after they accused him of opening fire at a police checkpoint in the coastal town of Gonaives earlier this week. Ferdinand was a suspected gang leader who played a key role in the 2004 uprising that ousted former President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. A police spokesman telling the Associated Press that, quote, police had no intention of killing anyone, and that Ferdinand had approached the checkpoint in a car with tinted windows only to back up and then open fire on officers, who returned fire and killed him and an unidentified person traveling with him. The spokesperson saying that it was a routine checkpoint aimed at cracking down on the Cocorat San Ras gang, which operates in an area known for its extreme violence. In sports, we told you about breaking news yesterday. Even after discomfort in her hamstring and slightly, Anthony Strachan had enough in the tank to the final of the women's 200 meters World Athletic Championships going on in Japan. Strachan crossed the finish line semi-final heat in the season's best time, pulling up at 4.8 seconds, practically limping to the finish. Still, she managed to get in time as the top 2 final heat and the next 2 fastest time for the final. The big question, though, is what kind of should be tonight's final. Is tonight in Tokyo, but going to be taking place in just a few minutes. (9:22) to be exact, our time. From the WNBA, professional player Jonquel J.J. Jones and New York Liberty failed to seize their opportunity to sweep the Phoenix Mercury in Game 2 of the first round at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Liberty, the reigning league champions, had a dry spell on offense in the second period, and the Mercury capitalized to triumph 86-60 and level the best-of-3 series at 1 game apiece. Game 3 will be pivotal for both teams, of course, as the chance to advance to round 2 hangs in the balance in the winner-go-home matchup. Jones, who was the 2024 WNBA MVP in the finals, has not put up big scoring numbers in the series so far, but she has made a presence felt on the defensive end of the Liberty front court. She recorded 7 points, a game-high 13 boards, and 2 blocks in 22 minutes of playing time. And from Thursday night football action, those Miami Dolphins. The Buffalo Bills linebacker Terrell Bernard diagnosed the play as soon as Tua dropped back in the pocket with the game on the line. The Dolphins threatening to tie the score with 3 minutes left. Bernard bolted to his left and stepped in front of receiver Jaden Waddle to intercept Tua's pass and securing a 31-21 win and extend the Bills' long run of dominance over their big rival in the AFC East. Josh Allen threw 3 touchdown passes, including a go-ahead 15-yarder to Khalil Shakir with 7:17 left. The Bills have won 14 of 15 meetings over the Dolphins and 7 straight, including playoffs. Though the Dolphins were competitive, miscues and the lack of discipline have them opening 0-3 for the first time since 2019 and leading to further questions regarding coach Mike McDaniel's job security. After coaching the team to the playoffs in each of his first two seasons, McDaniel's record has dropped to 8-13 since a wild-card loss to Kansas City in 2023. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. First look at weather brought to you by Star General. So there's still an elevated risk for strong to possibly severe thunderstorms across the northwest and central Bahamas today through tonight. And the storms have the potential to produce strong gusty winds, heavy downpours, frequent lightning, and possible waterspout or tornadic activity. So low-level troughing across the northern and northwest Bahamas, coupled with abundant tropical moisture, continue to generate showers and thunderstorms over most of the country, the northern, northwest, and central islands, and that will continue through tonight. Meanwhile, weak ridging across the southeast Bahamas will support gentle to moderate breezes and relatively stable conditions there, with the possibility of afternoon thunderstorms due to daytime heating. So for today, your forecast for the northern Bahamas and the northwest Bahamas, actually most of the country, northern, northwest, and central Bahamas, gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Partly cloudy to cloudy conditions with a 30 to 40%, even 50% chance of widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. Wind southeast at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times, becoming northwest to west at less than 10 knots, falling light and variable at times for the extreme northern islands, and southeast to south at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times for the northwestern islands, southeast at 10 to 15, falling light and variable at times by this evening for the rest of the country. High temperatures today around 90, 91 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. But the heat index will make you feel like it's 102, 103 Fahrenheit, or about 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down around 79, 80 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have more on your extended outlook for your weekend and the start of the new work week. And a look at the tropics in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's
It is time for break. When we come back, we are discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, wake up.
Nothing beats a Chickchani challenge. On September 27th, we're bringing the action, a 5K course packed with 20 thrilling obstacles. Start and finish at Fusion Superplex with energy, fun and excitement all around. First time? No problem. Try the Chickchani Lite version, built just for beginners. Got kids? Ages 3 to 7 can take on their very own Chickchani Kids Challenge. And this year, we're turning 10. So grab your team, mark your calendar, and come celebrate with us. Visit chickchanichallenge.com to sign up today. Thanks to our sponsors Fusion Superplex, Guardian Radio 96.9, Kalina, RBC, Advantage Insurance, Party Pilots Rentals and Events, Fincastle Media Group, Powerade, Click, and Art of Graphics.
This October, Bahama invites you to indulge your senses at the Culinary and Arts Festival, where world-class flavors meet breathtaking creativity in the heart of the Bahamas. Join us October 22nd through 26th for an unforgettable celebration featuring culinary legends Daniel Boulud, Marcus Samuelson, Dario Cicchini, and Simeon Hall Jr., alongside a vibrant lineup of Bahamian chefs and mixologists. Explore captivating art installations, interactive workshops, and live performances, all set against the stunning backdrop of Nassau's premier luxury resort. And don't miss an electrifying live performance by global superstar Lenny Kravitz, headlining the festival's welcome party on Friday, October 24th, with a concert experience you won't forget. This is more than a festival, it's a feast for the soul. Tickets and packages are going fast. Visit bahamar.com to reserve your spot at the Culinary and Arts Festival at Bahamar, where taste and talent take center stage. Bahamar, life spectacular.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man,
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Cozy up to autumn delights with Nassau Tile during our fantastic fall sale, September 22nd to 29th. Harvest the best deals on this season's latest designs with 20% off store-wide. Buy big and save big on all tile, thin set grout, mosaics, trims, and more. Don't delay. Prices are falling and autumn deals are calling at Nassau Tile. Call 322-2100 or visit our showroom on Dowdswell Street to make your fantastic fall dream space a reality.
Your solution for rising gas prices and expensive car maintenance has landed. Brand new 2026 electric vehicles from BYD have arrived at Easy Car Sales. Imagine no more gas and major savings on maintenance. Test drive a BYD EV today and save thousands with the car that redefines driving. Visit easy242.com for our 3 locations, in-house financing, and more. Easy Car Sales, the only authorized BYD dealer and warranty provider in the Bahamas.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab a day single or chicken sandwich with a junior fries and 16-ounce beverage for just $6.95. Why choose less from the other guys when you can get more? At Wendy's, we're providing bigger bites and better deals. So purchase your Tings Tough Value Meal today. Now available at all locations excluding the airport and food truck.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Ricardo Wells will be joining us. Also this morning, we're going to be talking with Strachan Hannah. She has a new book, a very interesting book for children. Some very interesting topics, and I think adults will find it really interesting. That's why I said interesting a lot there. But hey, it really is. We'll get into that with her this morning. Later in business, it's our monthly HR series, and Ahmad Rashad Thompson's going to be here. We're going to be talking about something called unbossing. Unbossing. What is that all about? We'll get into that in our 9 o'clock hour. That's all ahead. But right now, let's talk about what else is in the news. And in the news, we've been talking about this on and off for the past few weeks, the NASA Guardians Park series, every week, visiting public parks around the island and just seeing decay and deterioration. And it's been shocking, especially seeing as the budget for beaches and parks. And so in today's NASA Guardian, our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about this, about how they've been trying to track down Bahamas Public Parks and Beaches Authority Executive Chairman Michael Bonavie for months now, after they've started this series, trying to figure out what's going on with the parks and the beaches, especially with the budget overrun in the 2024-2025 fiscal year. The government budgeted $24 million during that time, but the authority spent $31 million. And the Guardian says that Bonavie has not been returning calls, but there was an event hosted by the authority at Goodman's Bay yesterday, and Bonavie finally addressed the issue. NASA Guardian was not invited to the event, apparently, but Bonavie telling the reporters who were there, quote, "It may be a matter of semantics, but the fact of the matter is that when we get to the midterm budget, the government decides what it wants to do in terms of reallocation. So it's a reallocation exercise. I don't view it as an overspending exercise." Bonavie pointed to work he said was not done at the parks during COVID-19 when the F&M was in power, saying, quote, "The fact of the matter is we felt there should have been persons working on those parks during that period, but the buck stops here." So there were many challenges. We had to deal with a lot of fiscal responsibility matters that were left undone. We had to deal with our funding. We had to deal with our audit reports. The authority has never tabled any audit report since its inception. And he says that people cannot simply look at what's happening at parks and beaches myopically and simply say that, quote, "Why isn't this park done?" or "Why that park isn't done?" And he went on to say, quote, "I wanted to have a fulsome conversation regarding where Parks and Beaches is at, so I intend to do a media run. I intend to come to ZNS and other media houses to give a full account of everything which would have happened at Parks and Beaches." Wow. The government budgeted $29 million for the authority in the upcoming fiscal year, which started July 31st. First, is it the upcoming or the current one? Okay, and the upcoming one, fine. In 2021, after taking office, Prime Minister Philip Davis, then Minister of Works Alfred Sears, and Bonavie pointed to budget increases in the authority under the Minutes administration in the lead up to the 2021 election. Davis said the authority's budget increased in the 21-22 fiscal year from $15.2 million to a projected $37 million. Wow. Sears says there was a rash of contracts, he had said at the time, a rash of contracts issued by the authority ahead of the September 16th general election, some without board approval. Bonavie said the increase in contracts looked like electioneering, saying, quote, "It walks like it sounds like it, and we can see the impact of it, and where it was not a real financial decision that was being made, it appears to be a political decision." Very interesting that would increase right before an election, and that one would say they're going to do a media run right before an election. Oh, my. Great. But anyway, we'll hear more about what's going on, so we're looking forward to that. Hopefully we are included in the run. Yeah, of course, that will get the information. What do you make of that? Give us a call, 323-632. 324-316, 325-429. Give us a call, 242-720 if you're in the Family Islands, and tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 424-796. Do you think parks and the beaches would be getting the attention if the Guardian had an exposure campaign? My producer's shaking his head. Or, I mean, it might have happened because the election's coming up. That's how we do things around here. Every 5 years, something gets tweaked. No? I think they'd have done something right before the election, but don't go sliding down any slides because you'd be in Splinterville before the election. Well, not long before the election. Got to do it right before. And then only one man knows when that will be. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. How are you?
I'm right here. How are you?
Dwight, I guess the best way to describe this one is perturbed.
Oh.
Bonavie must think someone is stupid. Okay, but actually Bonavie and this whole PLP crew must think people are stupid. I remember during the shortly after the Minutes administration, when the PLP came to power, they pretty much squashed the earth with, I think it was Shannon Cartwright. Anyway, whoever the minister was in charge of Beechington Park.
Well, the
they
head of the
squashed the
authority.
earth with them.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Barnaby takes over, and he is over budget with no reasonable explanation and still pointing back to what took place under the Minutes administration. This is why we voted the Minutes administration out, because we did not like what they were doing. Here he comes again with his mouth full of crap, talking a bunch of nonsense, pointing at the same old, same old. We need to stop this in this country. This is just stupid. I mean, everybody comes to power and they abuse the Bahamian people, abuse us. They act as though our treasury is their personal kitty. Then they tell us a bunch of nonsense and point finger at the past administration. This is why the past administration is no longer there.
So you're not buying it that they're trying
Not
to
at
deal
all.
with things behind the scenes and stuff like that?
Not at all. That's just waste, absolute waste. Look at the parks and all over this island. I mean, they look like they haven't been touched in years. They look like crap. And he's talking about the Minutes administration. Come on, man. We need to stop this nonsense.
Okay. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
It should be noted that once the Guardian exposed the park, within a couple of days, somebody went to fix it up. So that's pretty interesting, right? Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there? Call us back, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Good morning. You're live on the air. What was that? Okay. Do you have anything to say about the parks? Yeah, I heard that, but what was that? Is that good? What's that? What is that? Let's take another call. Caller, good morning. You're live on the air.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Doing well.
Yeah, I think it's a disgrace, and I think the government needs to stop reverting to what happened 4 years ago. We got rid of that administration because we were not happy with them. But you can't come to me in 2026 and tell me what happened in 2021. They got to get it together and do the job that the people put them there to do. This is getting frustrating now that we keep on reverting back to what happened under the minister or the Perry or the Ingram administration. You there now, do the job. The parks and disarray, they need to be fixed.
Absolutely.
That's it, and that's all. You enjoy your day.
Thank you. You too. Well, we look forward to hearing from Barnaby, when he makes his media tour to find out exactly what's going on. Maybe there's something we're not seeing. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air. Oh, not this again. So any type of criticism will warrant ridiculous commentary. Yes? Critique will. Okay. So this is very much like what's happening in some other parts of the world, right? Where, yeah. Well, that says a lot about the future of democracy. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. Pleasant day to you.
Same here. Good morning.
First of all, that response is very late. Secondly, the comparison with what happened at the initial part of the taking over the office has nothing to do with this current budget overrun. And because of the budget overrun, all the parks should be spick and span. It should be perfect. So that's about it. I noticed you had a very important guest yesterday in your program, late in your program. I was not available then, but I listened to the rebroadcast from the Crisis Center.
Yes.
And I wanted to question the point about not having relating to the men, because the men are considered as perpetrators, and how they come to that conclusion. Because I am aware of the contrary to it, where false accusation is given on men who do take good care of their family, because the women have other intention and they're doing other things, and it's being covered up. And I'm saying it on national radio just like that, and I have sufficient evidence about that.
Oh boy!
But nevertheless...
Do you think that's the majority of cases or just maybe a few?
Well, I know if it can happen to one, it can happen to all. And in addition to that, when the information is brought to their attention, they sweep it under the rug and say, move on, forget about it, don't worry with it. When factual information is given to them.
Okay. That's very interesting. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, my goodness. Okay. Ricardo Wells. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good. Let's get
my
your
tardiness.
Hey, traffic is heavy.
We got to do something with that. Somebody got to explain to me what's going on during the back to school period getting over Blue Hill Road. That's another
Only
level.
there? Oh, boy. Right. Well, good to have you. Good to have you. All right. So we've got quite a bit of text messages here on what we're talking about. Bonamy defending the work or lack thereof of the Bahamas Public Parks and Beaches Authority. This person says, my goodness, you mean to tell me they're referring to COVID-19? COVID-19 in 2025? I can't believe this. How do they stay in power? Well,
I was actually trying to understand a portion of his comments. Is he saying that because of COVID, the work that should have been done on the parks were halted, or is he saying what exactly is he trying to say?
Apparently, little was done during that period. Now, of course, we got out of that around 21,
Right.
early 22. So it's been like 3 years since then. What's the excuse?
So you're now saying that the budget went into an overrun because you had to now repair a lot of stuff that wasn't being used during COVID?
These are like the underground things because we don't see the evidence of anything being repaired. What are we talking about?
The slides, the swing sets. Are you saying that those items were?
You mean repair the tools they need to fix the things? Because nothing was being repaired.
Okay.
But who knows? Maybe we'll find out that you had to go for training, maybe. Go to China or Iceland or something. That's costly, and then you come back to learn how to. I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
Every edition of the Guardian Park series, we saw that the items on the park were in complete disrepair.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you saying that the overrun is due to the fact that you had to replace all of these items?
We'll find out during the media tour.
Look forward to that.
Oh boy. This texter says here. Oh boy. Okay, late explanation of parks budget reallocation. Will he come to Guardian Radio? We'll see. We'll see. We welcome him. Love to hear. This one says here they need to dissolve the Beaches and Parks Authority in New Providence, and New Providence needs local government. They should deal with parks and other matters. Central government can't do everything. Okay. Yes. You could have also said can't do anything, but sure, that's fine. I hope to God y'all don't allow any of these MPs who act arrogant and avoid questions, but when time for election, they want to bring their lousy hip on the radio. Dwight, please don't allow them on your station to campaign. It's going to be tough. It's going to be the only time we get information. This is how it works. Same thing happened with the Minnis administration.
Correct.
And I believe, well, it wasn't so bad under the Christie administration, but oh man. They come to you in the final months and they go, oh wow, it's great to be on your show finally. I said, don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm pretty sure they didn't say it like that to him.
Oh, I'll pull the tapes.
Great to be on your show finally.
Yeah, right. You know how many years we've been trying to get you on this show?
Wow. I was happy he had a lot to say, though. I didn't expect that. I've not heard his...
We weren't invited.
Probably just got lost in the spam filter somewhere.
So many things I could say. This texture says they're 4 years into the administration and they're still talking about Minnis. They love him. They love him very much. A texter here says, unacceptable in caps. As a runner on Goodman's Bay, it is despicable. The number of empty pineapple shells. Pineapple shells. What are we calling a pineapple shell?
No idea.
Is that like the... Okay. Beer bottles, cups, and food left on the beach after the events.
Oh, he's probably talking when you carve the pineapple to put like drinks in it.
Oh.
Yeah, pineapple. I assume that's what he's referring to as a he or she is referring to as a pineapple.
Okay. Well, that's gross. Cups and food left on the beach after the events. from the day before. The vendors aren't held responsible. The beach and the park authority aren't taking responsibility. This unsightly site is left for Bahamians and tourists running each morning. Who's responsible? Boy. Okay. He's a goner at one time and out, and he has no respect for older folks. Okay, well, that's a bit much. I don't know.
Sounds very personal.
I don't know what that means. Don't people have contracts to clean these parks? Shouldn't someone be monitoring to ensure they are properly maintained before paying out funds?
Very strong point.
It's amazing how... Wow, this is very, very rough language, folks. I'm going to edit this. This is a lot. It's so early in the morning. It's amazing how dissatisfied I am with these politicians. I'm going to edit this. I'm a Gomez Bay every day. These fellas can't fix a simple park. Oh, wow. Okay.
There's a lot of spotlight on Goodman's Bay.
Oh, dear. We'll get to that one in a bit. Some parks are splendidly outfitted with equipment. Please go to their events uninvited. Well, we got to know about it. We would do that, but we find out after the fact.
Can we ask a texter for a list of all the splendid parks?
Mm-hmm. How can you overrun when the parks were neglected for the better part of 3 years? It's an election ploy. This is a disgrace.
No, see, that's where my question is. Because if the parks weren't in use, like, how do you then come and say, well, hey, we have to spend more money to repair? You were always, the money should have been there because nothing happened in that department. So the money should have just been there. Or if it's allocated, and if it was allocated and reallocated because it wasn't being used during the COVID years, I understand that. But then clarify and make
that's what he's
that
saying,
statement.
Reallocation.
He's saying reallocation after COVID, or is he saying reallocation now?
He's saying reallocation.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because the way I read it, he's saying now funds are being reallocated to clean up what was left behind during COVID. So I'm asking you, what happened to the allocation during the COVID period? Because the parks weren't being used, we couldn't go outside, minutes kept us in our backyards. So what were we doing? Okay. Okay.
Texter says, when one has a beach party, we bring garbage bags. So when did that change? Are we just nasty, or are they saying we are just nasty? You have to say what? Sorry? People do? Right. People have the contracts too, right? Yeah. So it doesn't make any sense.
And I think if you...
But they're not just talking about that. I mean, that previous texter was talking about that. But we're talking about the infrastructure of the parks. Yeah.
But on the cleaning point, I think if you request to use public facilities like that, in that request, they would specify if there needs to be additional cleanup measures as well. So I think that should be taken care of. I'm not saying that it excuses Bahamians who just leave things filthy, but...
Yeah. This texter, we really don't want to go down this road today. But anyway, I'm glad your listeners are calling out, calling out the crisis center as if males are all perpetrators. They weren't saying that. But anyway, the texter goes on to say they repeatedly said that they seek to protect women, family, and children, excluding men. They did not say that either. What are you hearing? What's going on with you? They even said they would teach boys not to offend and teach girls to empower themselves. This narrative is extremely harmful and silly. Okay. I think what you're spreading is harmful and silly. But that's not what they said. That's not what they said. And let's not pretend as if this isn't, these aren't the majority of the perpetrators. Yes, there are women who are perpetrators, but mostly it's sadly men. All right, let's take a couple more calls. We want to move on to what the Department of Education is saying. Some very interesting things this morning. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Ricardo.
Good morning.
Very interesting questions put forth already by the previous callers. I want to, first and foremost, find out whether there is a breakdown by the ministry of how much revenue or monies, the people's money, is being spent on each of these individual parks. What is that amount of money that they find that they're spending on these parks? Are there parks that are what we would term as problem parks in terms of broken equipment, in terms of maintenance? I believe personally that if the ministry is doing what they're supposed to be doing, there should be someone spot checking these parks every day. The contracts that's being issued out, someone should be overseeing that these persons are actually fulfilling the obligation of the contracts to ensure that we're getting the bang for the buck. They're doing what they promised, not promised, but what they're obligated to do per the agreement in the contract. And I think this issue would just basically go away. Now, the difference here is with the beaches is slightly different, because I would believe in the contract or whatever. It would cover, sometimes we have these storms, we have an increase of seaweed and stuff like that. So obviously we got to bring the other equipment in to clean up the seaweed and all that stuff. I can understand that from time to time. But to see that this budget has increased from where it was and ballooned to where it is now, and still yet when the people look around to go on these parks, that these parks are still in the condition that they were prior to the increase in the budget, I mean, that's telling for the Bahamian people. We have to really call these people out for doing a bad job. Now, I'm not saying that the minister himself should be held accountable, but the persons who are in that authority, who reports to the minister, who has the day-to-day responsibility to ensure that this work is carried out, we need to now get them and rig them over the coals, because obviously we're paying them and they're not doing their jobs in the best manner, in the best interest of the Bahamian people. That's all I'm going to say on this morning. This is only one example of many of the other atrocities, or many of the other ministries and stuff that people have to deal with on a daily basis. We point these things out and nothing appears to be done. Let's fix this country. Thanks for taking my call.
All right. So Texter, I edited their text and their messaging back. Oh, so are you now Trump and the FCC censoring my speech? I'm not cursing anyone. This is free speech. I said, just call it and say it. You want to call? Yeah, just call it. You call. Let them hear your voice say it. Yeah, you can call in 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. This is a ridiculous text. Very stupid. Prime example of the fourth estate not helping to keep government's feet to the fire with as simple as government contracts for parks. I put part blame on the fourth estate. Again, most of you would not know about the state of these parks if it had not been for the media. You would not know. And you would not know about any of this. So I'm not sure what your issue is. You seem to have a serious one. And if you think you can do better, hey, apply to show us the way. Come and teach us, oh great one, how you would deal with this when you've been calling for months and texting and writing and everything, and nobody's responding. And all you can do is expose with the pictures.
I would just ask for context from the texter. I really want to know what more would they propose for the media to do.
Break into the office and go through all the files.
This is not Watergate.
Hack the computers.
Oh boy!
And go and look and see who got the contracts.
We're not going to do that.
Hold somebody hostage and waterboard them.
That is extreme.
That's clearly what they want. Mm-hmm. But when we do that to you, Auntie, you can have a problem. You can say, "Hey, why would you do that? Why would you?" Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning to both of you in the studio, to the Dwight of Bahamas. Dwight, if you actually take as an example what this trend is with regards to the Labour Party, two things. They are actually stuck in the period of 2017 to 2021 because everything they say seems to refer to that period of time.
But isn't this the MO of all governments of the Bahamas? I mean, this is what watching the House is like the History Channel, all right?
If you make
what
that
was going on
argument
5-10 years ago and stuff.
Right. But, right, if you made that argument now, you could see leadership right now, the next prime minister who focuses on a collective intelligence of the people.
I mean, everybody in opposition does that, right? Everybody in opposition sees everything that's wrong.
I wouldn't even use that as an example because we've seen in this case Mr. Pintard in an administration. We've seen him in opposition.
Yes, but again, let's look at the fullness of that. Mr. Brave Davis made an explanation of that. We operate a system where a totalitarian type environment where the prime minister becomes God and king. And so we know how it is. And so we can't dismiss that until we change it. And so when we look at leadership, we must then look at the behavior of that leadership before they became in governance. And if you look at our previous prime ministers, you could see the traits they expressed once they become leader. Listen very carefully. People say power corrupts, and people say power corrupts absolutely. That's not true. Power reveals the persons they pretended not to be. And so you then look at who they are now, and we take a careful examination of that, and you can almost perceive what type of leader they would be, as opposed to saying they will be like everyone else.
So can I ask you two questions, Mr. Johnson? First is, are you saying that a possible Free National Movement government is proposing to change our system in some sort of way?
No, I'm saying they will listen to the voice of the people, but the conversation that's not off.
Well, I got to stop. This is becoming an ad now, but sure. Okay,
I just don't understand, because we've seen the F&M leader in government.
In cabinet.
We've seen him during the Minister administration serve as both agricultureman at one point, and then at some other point he was in youth sports and culture. Mm-hmm. And then prior to that, we've seen him operate, I think, in opposition for a period of time and in the Senate. So we've seen him at all levels of government. Mm-hmm. Why are you presenting it as as this is a new person that we've never seen operate before?
And like I said earlier, that administration was doing the same thing, talking about when they met in office 2-3 years into them being in office. This is nonstop. We are living in the Groundhog Century in this place.
I'm a DC comic fan. This is Bizarro land. Everything is upside down. Everything is left and right. I don't get it at this point.
I'm sure. We inspired the comic. So, okay. One more call on this, and then we got to move on. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
It's always a problem because every administration campaigns and promises freedom of information, right?
Yeah.
Because if we had freedom of information, we wouldn't need the press, the government, or anybody to tell us who has these contracts or whatever, because private citizens can go up and access who has the information. I always say that any money spent on behalf of the Indian people should be public knowledge, right? And it's like every government or potential government promises freedom of information, and then when they get in power, they say, oh, that's not important, it's put on the back burner. Mm-hmm. As long as there's no accountability in this country, and I don't mean just voting people out every 5 years, there has to be checks and balances on accountability from the people. And keep their feet to the fire, and then you'll get change. But as soon as the government comes in, your PLP, I call them PLP, or F&M prostitutes who are paid to just sing the praises of the government, no matter what wrong they're doing. They'll never change the country unless the people hold the government accountable. And not just every 5 years. Hold them accountable every single day and say, listen, you promised this, you promised that. Nothing will change. And that's our main problem.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we'll do this. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning, caller. You're live on the air. Hi.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Strong. Good morning to
Ricardo
Wells.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, the last caller is a younger man than me. I expressed what he was saying, also what C. Allen is saying as relates to despotism and totalitarianism. We have seen it over and over. He spoke of the freedom of the information, right? By the time we are given it, it'll be the freedom of the disinformation. And so it's not only pertaining to what the government is spending, it can also be pertaining to environmental factors concerning environmental assessments that I need to find out for just human benefits. We talk about the hospital. We talk about a number of things, but what you have to realize is the fact that they don't want to do it, it shows that it is a contempt. And so really, I just wanted to call and say that the problem really is the abuse of the taxpayers' money, in which when people are given contracts, political fanatics, troops, whatever, right, they become blindly faithful or conformed to their party over the national issues of the country. So this is really a part of the problem. When you freed up the information, will allow us to go in and see who's making this money and where it's going, and if it's over-bloated because you could get independent assessments, etc. We saw the situation. I read all of the articles concerning Bahama, I saw the information in which the appraisers said that this amount of work was done, but this amount was billed. And so when you look at the disparity in that, I had to side with Ismarillion. And so how much more of this is going on? You have people, I guess from both parties, but people will be bragging, Mr. Strachan, about the money when they reach out in the broader community about the contracts and what they're making, and this is what it's all about. And so they become these are nefarious people, and they'll be given the contracts, and this is why they stay blind, and this is how they get to control the community. One person in the community has influence. He gets the contract. He go in the community, and he influences other people to vote. I've seen it all the time, especially in the inner city. And it is what it is. And so I guess that's the reason why they call it silly season. But they don't want you. And then for me, lack of freedom is not being able to express yourself on the airways. And then when you do, the public doesn't know the truth because a professional say it's so, and then they could be incorrect. So I'm frightened. I'm frightened, Mr. Strachan. The only reason why it's called is for the people. It's not about me. I don't call it selfish, but it's frightening for me.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, we're going to leave that one there. Someone's saying invite Mr. Bonnaby on the show. Absolutely. He's very welcome. We hope we are part of his planned tour. And I'm pretty sure there's several people we've not seen or heard in the last 4 years.
We could do a show live from Goodman's Bay.
Yeah. On a slide. Yeah. Some we haven't heard from in 4 years. We'll be seeing them. We'll be seeing them all.
So the
next. Isn't this special? Wow. Okay, so moving on. The schools. What's going on in the schools? Columbus Primary. We got a tip yesterday morning that, hey, you see what's going on at Columbus Primary?
I think you might want to explain because people think the reporters in this country aren't doing their job, so you might have to explain how the tip actually takes place.
So somebody sent a message to us saying, hey, you all need to check out what's going on at Columbus Primary. Something weird is happening. Plus, the kids were sent home early the day before. So we followed up with Belinda Wilson and the director. Take a listen to what's going on in this report from our Vanik Toot.
Columbus Primary School are said to be fed up, asserting that the school has been without a principal since last year and that the vice principal is overworked.
Columbus Primary School teachers are already feeling stressed. Teachers at Columbus Primary are very concerned that they do not have a principal, and the administrator that was reassigned has not been replaced. The administrators who are present are overworked and are unable to make decisions that are above their pay grade.
Director of Education Dominique McCartney-Russell says a principal has been identified for Columbus Primary as well as other schools.
Well, right now we have an issue at Columbus Primary, certainly because I've indicated already we have some principles that we need to put in place, and we are still at the commission, still interviewing persons. In fact, we should be finished with the principals tomorrow. And we have identified some principals. In fact, we have identified principals for Columbus Primary as well. We have been in communication with BEMU. And so once we complete the communication with BEMU, let them know what we're doing, we believe that we will have those officers in place.
However, she noted that moving a principal from one school to another creates a domino effect across the system.
Once I put a B school principal in place, I'm moving a B school principal from a C school, and then I have to put principals in place for the C school. And then, of course, I have to replace the D school principal. So it is a domino effect. And we believe that we will have that process completed by next week.
She also admitted there is still a shortage of 20 teachers in the public school system, but interviews are ongoing.
We have an online portal where we ask persons who are interested to apply. And so we've been interviewing persons. We're still in need of some key areas like language arts, visual arts, I think science. There's still a need for some officers. But by and large, we've been able to identify some officers to serve in these schools.
Our Vanik Toot with that report there. Okay, just in case you were wondering, the last time the director was on the show, she explained it. The AB that's based on size, not on grades or anything like that. Okay. Wow. Let's get your reaction to it. Still trying to identify the principals. It's 3-4 weeks
How
into
do
the
you
school
advance to the month of September still in that level of a process? They said that and when I say they, I'm referring to the Bahamas Union of Teachers, that the administrator, in this case, the principal, was moved from last school year. So why during the entire summer break wasn't it considered to find a replacement? And for the director to then say, well, hey, we're still at the council level, we're still going through, and then to mention that we put these requests out through systems, hoping that we can't, it's 2025. No?
Well, we're consistent, at least. Let's get your reaction to that. We'll get to what the director is saying about the claims made by some teachers on social media and even the teacher union president, Belinda Wilson, about the language barrier in schools. We'll get to that in a bit. But let's get your reaction to this. And will there be school today at Columbus Primary? I don't know. 323-6232. 325-4316. Heard only one teacher showed up yesterday. You're laughing.
I have to, Dwight.
One.
Because, okay, if you don't laugh in a situation like this, you would just lose it. Because there's no way you could tell me, practically speaking, that you would advance to the third week of September and this matter not either be addressed or some short-term situation is put in place. The third week of September. I'm sorry, that's I don't support the idea of people just outright losing their job. But in this case, somebody got to be volunteer for tribute. I'm just saying. Because it makes no sense for you to tell us the third week of September, we're still going through the process to identify someone.
Wow. This texter says here, please pinch me just in case I'm dreaming. Why are we interviewing school administrators after the start of the school year?
This is crazy.
Callers will get to you in a second. This person says, is the teacher crisis a domino effect from the change in policy regarding Cuban migrant workers? Seems so. No, I don't think it is. It's not that at all. Even with principals in place, some do little because of incompetence and others because of fear.
But we can cross that bridge when we get there.
As in, you talking about the principals or the teachers? Okay. And this person's agreeing with you. Heads need to roll. Let's see what these callers are saying. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Ricardo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Wells. Dwight, I tell me something. The other day that I asked you what they doing in America, and I think you or someone say, well, you can't look at America because things over here sound different and all that stuff. And then a text they come in and say they was remind us that in Kitts or somewhere in the Caribbean, the foreign children who in the country, you know, the United Nations said we have to let them go to school, right? They have to get an education, but it seems like you don't have to give them it free. So I was wondering if we should think about that, knowing that they being a burden and they becoming a voice of burden. Now, you might disagree, and it's okay to disagree. Some must feel like they becoming a burden. And if you look at the money, what they send back to Haiti, and I guess they're looking out for their people. If it was me, I might have do it too. If you allocate the kind of funds what they send, I think they could build private schools. They could help the Bahamas between them and the clergy or the Haitian clergies. They could build private schools and attend in private schools where they pay and ease off the burden of the Bahamian people.
Okay, so I don't. Huh? We're talking about back to the. I don't know if
about the
language thing.
That. I mean, some must feel that way.
But I don't know if these folks who we're talking about here are here because their parents on work permits. And the texter was saying that
all of them, some of them are Bahamians.
Right.
I'm talking about the foreigners. I'm talking about the set who we obligated to send to schools and stuff like that. You know, not the Bahamians. They being a burden and getting rough. I don't know who.
Well, the text you were talking about was saying that people on work permits were required in that country to send their children to private school.
On work permit, well, we get a lot of them on work permit rates here going to our government school with a strain and a burden on us, and they becoming a problem because they fighting with our children. Huh?
I'm not sure if that's accurate.
No, you mean you don't agree that it's accurate?
No, I mean I can't imagine.
No. I don't know. Maybe one of these days you'll get to see it's a fact, or you will be able to tell me, well, Papa, you was wrong. But tell me something. with the principals and all the school and all the repairs and stuff, and the people in send the text saying, why are they waiting so late to do this? Would you agree with me that this is not the minister, Benisana Martin, fault, or the director? Some of the things, if you listen to what they're saying, listen to the director, it sounds like between the, public service minister, what the woman named Glover Roll, the lady named Glover Roll, the minister of labor, between her and the financial secretary who in the office of in Mr. Davis' office, his financial secretary, our financial secretary, Simon Wilson. I mean, for some time now.
Not sure who's to blame. I'm sure it's a complex matter.
They guess a part of the blame. And guess what? I know you'll get tired of this blind man. Keep calling Simon Wilson name out. If he'll get out of our business as a financial secretary, no one will have to call his name. He seems like he's the problem. If you listen to the minister, and not the minister of education, because she ain't really blaming nobody. She trying her best. But if you listen to the directors and others, and Melinda Wilson, who in charge of the teachers, the union, Madam President, Simon Wilson is the problem. Man, someone need to talk. You mean they can't do nothing about? That's embarrassing our schools. These teachers help make prime ministers and financial secretaries and stuff, and they can treat the teachers them like that. I don't blame the Minister of Education for this. I blame the Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance, and his financial secretary. We could agree to disagree. Hey, it's Friday. I want you to have a nice weekend. Dwight, what about Jimmy Campbell, man? He gone, eh? What do you think about that,
Jimmy
man?
Kimmel.
We try to do something like that in the Bahamas. Dwight talking bad. Not bad, but disagreeing with the Prime Minister, and then they take him off the air, the people who own the radio station. You can talk about it.
I'm sure that has been happening at ZNS. But thank you very much. Okay.
I don't know.
That was a lot. Was a lot. I'm very tired. Did I just run a marathon?
I don't know where to put the suitcase.
Oh,
Can't
my God.
pack all of that.
Wow.
That's a show on it. So.
Papa, you did a number on us today. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good time to take a break.
Okay. Yeah.
Got to recoup. This is what is this? This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us. We'll be back in a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we can sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use.
Mm-hmm.
So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 4224796. And now at 8:15, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Looking to paint? Well, your local Sherwin-Williams store has top-quality paints, expert advice, and everyday discounts to help you save only at Sherwin-Williams. So here's what's going on. We've got a risk of isolated strong to severe thunderstorms, particularly across the northwest and central Bahamas today through tonight. The storms have the potential to produce strong, gusty winds, heavy downpours, frequent lightning, and possible waterspout or tornadic activity. And low-level troughing across the northern and northwest Bahamas, coupled with abundant tropical moisture, will continue to generate showers and thunderstorms over most of the country through tonight. But weak ridging across the southeast Bahamas will result in gentle to moderate breezes and relatively more stable conditions, with just the possibility of afternoon thunderstorms due to daytime heating. So the persistent low-level troughing across the northern and northwest Bahamas will continue through the weekend and continue to enhance the potential for thunderstorms and heavy showers across most of the country, the northern, northwest, and central Bahamas. And that means the flooding risk is elevated in low-lying or flood-prone areas during these downpours. So your forecast for today for the extreme northern islands, partly cloudy to cloudy. For the northwest and central Bahamas, cloudy, becoming mostly fair tonight. But for most of these areas, a 30 to 50% chance of showers and afternoon thunderstorms. Better conditions for the southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, becoming mostly fair tonight with a 10 to 20% chance of afternoon thunderstorms. High temperatures today. We're looking at highs around 90, 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like it's between 102 and 106 Fahrenheit. So that's between 39 and 40 Celsius. In your overnight temperatures getting down to about 79, 80 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. In your extended outlook for tomorrow, Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds for the southeast Bahamas, but for most of the country, partly cloudy to cloudy. A 20 to 40% chance of showers for the northern and northwest and central Bahamas. That pattern is going to hold pretty much for Sunday into Monday and Tuesday. In the tropics, there's still Tropical Storm Gabrielle, more on that in a bit. And in the eastern tropical Atlantic, a tropical wave just off the west coast of Africa. Some slow development is possible through the middle of the week. Next week, formation chance is low at about 20% over the next 7 days. So with Gabrielle is forecast to strengthen to a hurricane by Sunday. As of now, it's about 595 miles east-northeast of the northern Leeward Islands. Maximum sustained winds are near 50 miles per hour. Gabrielle is expected to take a turn towards the northwest by tonight, followed by a north-northwestward motion by Saturday and a northward motion by Sunday night. On the forecast track, the center of Gabrielle is expected to pass east of Bermuda Sunday night and Monday. No threat to us, but our friends in Bermuda need to be looking out for that. That is your morning blend weather check. Weather check also brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Plug into the future. The new 2026 models have arrived at Easy Car Sales, and they are electric. Be sure to visit easy242.com and book your test drive today. .19, time for a check of traffic brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. A reminder of the work going on Bay Street at night, mainly between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m., mainly between East Street and Christie Streets. You're going to want to avoid that area if you can, or follow the posted traffic signs. In your real-time traffic right now, we're seeing some heavy traffic in a number of spots. We've got Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic from just north of the Fire Trail roundabout. And that's going to extend all the way into New Providence Highway to basically the six-legged roundabout if you're heading northbound. Very heavy at this hour right now. And especially busy as you get closer to the Sports Center Road roundabout. Over on Gladstone Road, a much more manageable traffic situation there, but still some slow-moving traffic northbound at various spots, and especially as you get closer to the roundabout with Bahamar Boulevard and John F. Kennedy Drive. Over on Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic for you near St. Vincent Road, and especially north of Carmichael, straight up to the Independence Drive roundabout if you're heading northbound. Independence Drive is backed up for you eastbound right now on the way to the roundabout with East Street, and heavy traffic on East Street northbound from Soldier straight through to Robinson Road. You're going to see congestion if you're in eastern New Providence near Fox Hill Road, if you're on Eastern Road westbound, and Bernard Road near the schools in that area, both directions. Those are your hot spots right now. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend. Traffic alert brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Need cover you can count on? Well, you can buy motor insurance your way. Stop by your nearest branch or visit nuainsurance.com. Simple, secure, and ready when you are.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
This October, Bahama invites you to indulge your senses at the Culinary and Arts Festival, where world-class flavors meet breathtaking creativity in the heart of the Bahamas. Join us October 22nd through 26th for an unforgettable celebration featuring culinary legends Marcus Samuelson, Dario Cicchini, Simeon Hall Jr., and Scott Conant, alongside a vibrant lineup of chefs and mixologists. Explore captivating art installations, interactive workshops, and live performances, all set against the stunning backdrop of Nassau's premier luxury resort. From curated tasting events to beachfront feasts and immersive gallery experiences, this is more than a festival. It's a feast for the soul. Tickets and packages are going fast. Visit Bahamar.com to reserve your spot at the Culinary and Arts Festival at Bahamar, where taste and talent take center stage.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there, the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clocks and Island Lock, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Starbucks Bahamas is the place you need to be. Yeah. Taste the pride of Bahamian craft and culture in premium coffee. That's right. Committed to serve convenience and we stand on consistency. Wow. We're more than just a coffee house. Come join our community. We've been here for 20 years. Set the celebration with us. Uplift the everyday with each cup. Coffee, community, craft and culture. We've been here for 20 years. Set the celebration with us. Starbucks Bahamas, come to give you coffee, community, craft and culture.
When it comes to hearts at Cleveland Clinic, you can't miss a beat. You seek the best care possible, work with the brightest minds, and leave no stone unturned to get to the heart of the matter. Because understanding is always the first step to overcoming. For every heart in the world, see how we're advancing the future of heart care at Cleveland Clinic today.
Call
Cozy up to autumn delights with Nassau Tile during our fantastic fall sale, September 22nd to 29th. Harvest the best deals on this season's latest designs with 20% off store-wide. Buy big and save big on all tile, thin set grout, mosaics, trims, and more. Don't delay. Prices are falling and autumn deals are calling at Nassau Tile. Call 322-2100 or visit our showroom on Dodswell Street to make your fantastic fall dream space a reality.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
I was a ghost, I was alone. 두어진 길 속에 Given the throne, I didn't know how to believe I was the queen that I'm meant to be. I lived two lives, tried to play both sides, but I couldn't find my own place. Caught a problem child, 'cause I got too wild, but now that's how I'm getting paid. 끝없이 on stage, I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be. We dreaming hard, we came so far, now I believe. We're going up, 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 it's our moment. You know together we're going, gonna be golden.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Ricardo Wells on this Friday morning. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking with Trish Hanna about her new book. And later, unbossing. Ever heard of that?
First time I heard about the term.
We're going to learn about it today in our HR series coming up in our business hour.
I just need to know, is it you or is it the producer that's selecting the break music, the in and out?
It's a mix.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who was
You're a
that
fan
selection?
of that last song?
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
It's the number one song on Billboard for a number of weeks now. So you sound like you know what this is about.
I've been deep in my rap bag the last couple of months, so when I heard it just now, I was like, it's pretty
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Number one song. Did you watch that movie?
No. Not big into anime.
Hey, me neither, but it's actually a shockingly decent movie. I don't know what's happening.
So you enjoy
it? I don't know what's going on with me, but it was pretty good.
I would have never expected that.
Me neither.
Everybody's been in my chat the last couple of weeks. You got to see this movie. Got to see this movie.
It really
was
was good. I cannot understand what's going on.
Well, I don't know. If Javon, if you're listening, you have a fan and supporter in Dwight.
I might need therapy, but it was good. It was good, and that's one of the songs are all in they've taken over the Billboard. They're all over there. Like you got it's crazy.
Big movie. Okay.
I don't understand what's happening. But anyway, all right. So during the break, BOT President Belinda Wilson messaging me. So it's not just Columbus Primary that doesn't have, it's still, because we knew this was the case a few weeks back. The last time she was on the show, she said this, and the director acknowledged that as well. But it's still 11 schools without principals.
How many, did she indicate how many of the schools were in New Providence?
Here's the list. Columbus Primary, Claridge Primary, Laura Anderson Primary. I don't know where that is.
First time,
P.A. Gibson Primary, Harbor Island Comprehensive School, United Estates Primary, that's in Salvador, right? North Long Island High, NGM Major, also Long Island, Central Andros High, Ellen Coakley, that's Exuma, Samuel Guy Pinder, all without principals.
I have to ask, how is that possible? Please. And we got criticism yesterday for not giving the PLP all of their just due. Anybody from the Progressive Liberal Party. Well, I did. Anybody from the Progressive Liberal Party.
We're going through their blueprint for change.
Whether you're in the administration, you're affiliated with the administration, or you're close friends with somebody in the administration.
How do you get criticism for just going through their blueprint and saying, well, they did this or they didn't do this?
They wanted us to name all of the cultural ambassadors, and we did it. We said that the program was a bit... don't distract me from that point right now, Dwight.
Anyway.
Dwight, what I want to know, please, right now, this is the perfect opportunity. Clarify how something like this is possible. Whether in a statement, whether it's the director, whether it's the minister, whether it's the PM, clarify how we could be the third week in September and 11 schools are without a principal. That's impossible to be the case. Please clarify how that happened.
Some retired, some resigned. I don't know if any died.
So did the retirement announcement come like, hey, September 1st, hey, just want you to know this last year was my last year.
That has happened before, right? People in August, like, I'm done. And, so you still get paid.
So there's no system where we have like a training program, or we have eyes on 2 or 3 people that if we're in this job again, we could call on one of these 2 or 3 people to say step up to that next level. No,
principals are us. Just dial
we have a
principal.
unit. We have a unit for everything else in this country. Let's make a principal or us unit to make sure that we're never in this jam again. Just somebody clarify. I need to know.
Oh boy, she's messaging a 12th school. What's going on? This is new, or you? Anyway, Gerald Cash Primary. Is that a overnight development, or what? Oh boy. Okay. Wow, that's a lot. This texter says, trust me, heads do need to roll. Too much incompetence going on at MOE. Speak to Belinda Wilson. She can bring much clarity and truth to the matter. She was just here a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Ricardo.
Yes, sir?
Yeah, I think I could explain to you the issue why. You notice it's mostly in the primary schools where headmasters just don't want to deal with this code switching pressure. In a bilingual environment, this switching between one language and the other could trigger emotional dissonance, especially if one language is seen lesser or inferior to the other. Now, I have been trained to learn that cognitive dissonance occurs when a person holds 2 or more conflicting beliefs and mental discomfort. So you may find that as a principal, I have to deal with a child who believes that tall is the same as long and short is the same as small, and I can't get that through their heads that they're different because they have their internal belief system. And I think this is what we may be seeing in the primary schools. I wouldn't want to be a principal. My sister used to be a teacher, and she's so glad that she ain't there no more because she explained to me what's going on. So I'm speaking from facts. Cognitive dissonance. This ministry is not prepared to address the issue where people have different belief systems, and we are trying to teach them otherwise. All right?
Wow. Okay.
So
Thanks a lot.
Before you go on our accredited show on Saturdays, anytime we having a slow sports week, Ronaldo creates this thing called the Wheel of Topics.
I've
right,
heard this.
Right. So what we need now is a call of the day button. That we could select it, like pinpoint. That was the call of the day.
Yeah,
that was the call of the day.
Show's not over yet. Okay, so people are bringing this issue into the other issue in the schools, so we might as well get to that right now as we are running out of time for this part of the show. So the Department of Education, the director, responding to the claims by teachers on social media and BUT President Belinda Wilson that there are students in the schools here who aren't able to speak English. Here is what the director is saying. Take a listen to this report from our Vanik Toot.
Amid concerns raised by the Bahamas Union of Teachers regarding a possible language barrier between teachers and Creole-speaking students in the public education system, Director of Education Dominique McCartney-Russell says officials will review the matter but do not currently see it as a significant issue.
Well, we heard about a social media post indicating that there were some issues with students with English as a second language. I cannot say to you that that is prevalent in our schools. We have no information on that to suggest that it is. In my knowledge, most of our children in our schools are Bahamians.
McCartney-Russell noted that in some cases, students who list English as a second language have been paired with English-speaking peers, which has been helpful. However, she clarified that while this buddy system has been practiced, it is not a formal policy implemented across the public school system.
It's not official. It's not a policy of the Ministry of Education. It's been a practice over the years. So I cannot say that it's in 160 of our schools, but it is in some of the schools. I've not spoken to any principal to ascertain which student is utilized for the buddy system, but I am certain that it is not a mandatory thing. It's similar to when a child comes in and they are wheelchair bound, somebody may offer to assist that child. And so we don't make it mandatory for any student.
Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson recently described the language barrier as a major challenge and asserted that many teachers are unaware of any buddy system. In response, McCartney Russell said the ministry is open to supporting students through English classes to address these concerns. She emphasized that excluding students from the classroom is not an option.
Like I said, if it becomes what we would call an issue, right now we don't see it as an issue, but we are certainly canvassing our schools to ascertain what they're finding. This is based on one social media post by one teacher, and so we have to investigate to make sure. And as I indicated, from my vantage point, we've not seen it as an issue.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonique Tude.
Okay, let's get into this really quickly. So it's such a totally different narrative from what the teachers and BUT are saying, right? That this is common, and then she's saying it's not very prevalent. What do you make of this?
I can get myself in trouble right now, so I declare it on national radio before I say it. In another aspect of my life, I've seen the situation play out. And I'm not here to challenge the current immigration landscape. I'm not here to get people irate in any which way.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of truth to the whole idea of this being an issue in our schools from the language barrier perspective, because it's an issue in our communities. I ask any Bahamian, any right-thinking Bahamian, to go into some of our inner-city communities right now. If school is out at 3 o'clock, I'm not telling you to linger around the school in any which way, but just watch as students come out, watch the language that is being spoken. If it's a challenge in our communities, how is it not a challenge in our schools? Our schools are only a microcosm of what happens in our communities.
All right, so what are we saying, though? Are these only the first graders who are just in the school environment?
I feel like it's beyond the first graders.
See, that doesn't make sense. Hold on. How is that possible?
It does. Because if you leave a child in that environment for an extended period of time, the school environment, eventually they're going to be able to pick up English. The more you expose young kids to any other language, it's easier for them to pick it up. So let's say a child comes into the first grade unable to speak English. You leave that child in that environment for a couple of months, they're going to pick up the basic words. You leave them for about a year, they're going to pick up more words. They're going to get conversational. And if you leave them 2 or 3 years, by the third grade, they're able to speak English. Mm-hmm. So as you hit the 4th and 5th and 6th grade, you now have an English speaker. But that child could have started their education in the 1st grade unable to speak English, because they come from a segment of our community where English is hardly ever spoken.
Mm-hmm. So who are we going to believe here? The director is saying that this is not very prevalent. This is not as widespread as folks would have you believe.
I'm asking the public not to even take into consideration those 2 points. I'm asking the public to go and see for themselves. That's where we need to be right now.
Wow.
Because if you follow, listen to what the director said carefully.
Mm-hmm.
She said that the buddy system is not a formal process. It's not a formal policy, but we have executed it in the past. So if you're using the buddy system as the thing to address this issue, that's you saying that, hey, we have cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So all you're saying now is maybe when I'm saying maybe Mrs. Wilson is overblowing the amount of cases, but we do have cases.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're admitting that cases exist, I am prone to believe that Miss Wilson may not be that far off.
Wow. Okay, let's get to these calls really quickly. You're running out of time. This person says here, can you, Morning Blend, institute a Gas Lighter of the Week award for public officials, please? Because Bonnaby certainly would get it this week between him and the Director of Education. Wow.
So 2 new buttons.
My goodness gracious. Okay, this is some people not happy with Popper's call. This person says here, my wife was a teacher, was always stressed the school system is a mess. This person says whether that is the policy or the practice, they need to get these Haitians out of our schools. Oh my goodness. If they want to learn, send them to the detention center or back to Haiti to learn virtually.
No, that's not the approach. That's not the approach. Again, we have to be very careful in how we approach the situation. I know we don't like the term Haitian Bahamians, but a lot of these people are of Bahamian descent. These are legal residents, whether or not we want to accept that or not, they should be in schools. The processes, and I spoke to Dwight off air about this, there should be some sort of immersion, whether it's language, whether it's culture, that kids that are from that community would go through before entering. We talked about whether preschools are mandatory or not. That's where it starts. You allow these kids to learn English before they enter the school system, and it resolves this issue that we now face.
Wow. Let's take this call quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Ricardo touched on many of the things I was going to touch. Ricardo's called ESL, English as a Second Language, and they do it in the preschools to prepare them for the elementary school. But Dwight, you have to listen to very carefully to the director. She basically admitted everything is, and she's just saying it's not as widespread. But this isn't a single school; it's multiple schools. Because you didn't have a buddy program, you have buddy programs across the whole school. But essentially, what they seem to be arguing is that all of these teachers, Ms. Belinda Wilson, and all of the observation that we have talked about this for almost a decade or more on your station, that we all suffering from mass psychogenic perception. What we don't see, what is not real, we have to see it through their eyes. Forget what we perceive, forget what we have been discussing, forget all of these things. And Dwight, I have to ask you a question. When your show started, I asked you a question. Just name one ministry or one process, something we do in this country that works, whether it be roads, school, education, energy. Just name me one that functioned the way it should. Thanks.
Okay, I'll get back to you. There's got to be a couple. There's got to be a couple. One final call here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning. Hi, caller. Good morning. You're on the air. No? Okay. This texter says here, is the director of education serious? She is out of touch and delusional. She cannot be serious. She needs to get from behind her desk and conduct a tour of the schools and speak with the teachers experiencing this. She says that as far as she knows, all the students are Bahamian. That's not what she said, but okay. That's not what she said. This person says here, any child or children attending school in the Bahamas should be able to speak English. This is an English-speaking country, and it's very unfair to the Bahamian children having to be disadvantaged by people not able to speak English or the requisite language. There is too much confusion coming from the Ministry of Education.
And this is not to devalue the Creole language in any which way. It is simply to say in our public systems that this is the actual language that should be spoken. It's not to devalue the Creole language in any which way.
Yeah. All right, as we go to the break, this texter says here, in Abaco, you only have to go to the supermarket, the food stores, NIB, any public office, and listen to the language spoken. Well.
It's almost becoming a case in Anderson and Luther as well.
Boy, this is interesting stuff. Okay. This texter says, many children are not born here. They arrived on our shores a year or less ago. We're going to leave that there. Wow. This is Morning Blend on a Friday morning here on Guardian Radio. Stay with us.
Shining like I'm born to be, 'cause we are hunters, voices strong, and I know I believe we're going up, 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 it's our moment. You know together we're glowing, gonna be golden. Up, up, up with our voices, going to get you so warm, gonna be golden. I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be.
In uncertain times, resilience is everything. That's why CFAL is inviting you to the financial services event of the year, the 2025 CFAL Pension and Economic Conference. It all happens Thursday, October 16th at 8 a.m. at the Grand Hyatt Baha Mar Convention Center. Under the theme Resilience in the Face of Global Uncertainty, this half-day conference is your chance to gain powerful insights on navigating today's shifting global economy.
This is the premier networking and knowledge sharing event of the year, and you cannot afford to miss it. So secure your spot today at www.cpal.com.
What if your bank or credit union faced financial trouble tomorrow? Would your money be safe? That's where the Deposit Insurance Corporation comes in. For 25 years, the DIC has been working to ensure your Bahamian dollar deposits in financial institutions are protected, so you can bank with confidence. And now, we're inviting you to learn more in a fun and family-friendly way for free. Join us Saturday, September 27th at the Bahamas National Trust from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the DIC experience. Enjoy live entertainment, food vendors, and interactive booths, all while discovering the power of financial literacy. Whether you're saving for school or starting a business, understanding how deposit insurance works helps you make smarter money moves. It's your money. Know how it's protected. To learn more, visit www.dic.bs or follow us at DIC Bahamas. The DIC, safeguarding your Bahamian dollar deposit.
Cozy up to autumn delights with Nassau Tile during our fantastic fall sale, September 22nd to 29th. Harvest the best deals on this season's latest designs with 20% off store-wide. Buy big and save big on all tile, thin set grout, mosaics, trims, and more. Don't delay. Prices are falling and autumn deals are calling at Nassau Tile. Call 322-2100 or visit our showroom on Dodswell Street to make your fantastic fall dream space a reality.
When it comes to hearts at Cleveland Clinic, you can't miss a beat. You seek the best care possible, work with the brightest minds, and leave no stone unturned to get to the heart of the matter. Because understanding is always the first step to overcoming. For every heart in the world, see how we're advancing the future of heart care at Cleveland Clinic today.
Given the throne, I didn't know how to believe I was the queen that I'm meant to be. I lived two lives, tried to play both sides, but I couldn't find my own place. Caught a problem child, cause I got too wild, but now that's how I'm getting paid. Could I see on stage? I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be. We dreaming hard, we came so far, now I believe. We're going up, it's our moment. You know together we're glowing. Gonna be golden.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Ricardo Wells. And changing gears now, it's called the Children's Dream Journal. A new book by our Strachan Hannah, part of our family here at the Nassau Guardian Radio. Good morning. Good morning. Let's get your mic up there. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Ricardo. Good morning. Morning Blend listeners.
So you are a very busy woman. You're everything. You're a major salesperson here at the Nassau Guardian Radio. You got a show here on Guardian Radio. And when do you have time to write books?
Listen, in the evening times. I'm also a coach. I'm also a relationship and life coach. Yeah. So the evening times is when I just spend at least 2 hours where I just cut everything off and I say, okay, well, this is my moment, where I spend time with God and He imparts whatever it is that needs to be done for me to keep me sane, I should say, first of all, and productive.
Okay. All right. So this is really interesting. Children's Dream Journal.
Yeah.
Explain to folks what this is, and then we'll get deeper into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of the show. And the Children's Dream Journal is exactly what it is, a children's dream journal. In this journal, it gives your children the opportunity to not only write out the dreams that they may have throughout the night, but also draw it out if they are unable to explain some of the things that they may have visualized during their sleep process. Now, that can be anything because, I know the first time I brought this up, people thought I meant, when I say, well, don't ignore the children's dreams, people thought I meant, their aspirations, their goals, etc. No. These dreams are the sensations, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, words, numbers that they experience when they're asleep. So
Why
all
did
of
you
that.
feel that was important?
Listen, it's beyond me, It's beyond me. I'm actually just the conduit. I'm being obedient. Dreams, first of all, was something that I was always intrigued about. When I knew myself, from the time I knew myself, I knew about writing out dreams and having vivid dreams. And I realized even with studying the Bible, that most people in the Bible, God communicated with through dreams, right? And in dreams, it gives you an opportunity, or gives God an opportunity to speak to you pertaining your destiny, which is utmostly important. Warnings. You're able to identify thoughts and feelings like fears and doubts and insecurities, etc. So, I'm like, okay, well, when I realized all this, I said, okay, God, what do you want me to do with this? What am I doing with this information? And it's point blank. Listen, there are some people out there who don't understand that these children, yes, we encourage them to pursue academics. We encourage them to pursue athletic stuff, right? But we want to get deep down into knowing how to pursue them spiritually, or their souls, so that they can know how to, what's the word I want to say, how to navigate their lives. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
So you have, for instance, in the book of Genesis, right? In Genesis chapter 38, we spoke, I don't know if y'all, yeah? Okay.
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure. I'm talking to the right people, right? So in the book, it spoke about Jacob and Joseph, right? Jacob was the father of Joseph. Joseph went to his family. He said, hey, I have dreams. I have two dreams. In these dreams, one in particular was where he was in the field, and his sheath was standing upright, and the other sheaves were bowing before him. And then he said another dream. He said, in this other dream, there were the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars that were also bowing down before him, right? And so when that occurred, or when he told this to his family, his father rebuked him. He's like, boy, get from around here talking about it. Ain't nobody bowing down to you. Boy, go get yourself.
Pretty sure that's still happening today.
Okay, right? And so what happened is, because Jacob did not cultivate or even pursue God to find out, hey, what does this mean? What I hear my son has this issue or had these two dreams. What can I do to cultivate those dreams? Or how can I deal with this matter? But he didn't do that. And because he didn't do that, if you know how the story continued on, he was sold into slavery. He, had a lot of different trauma happening to him, experienced a lot of different issues, right? And so even in Jacob's situation, he was grieving for years. So that, for those who've grieved before, that ain't nothing to play with. He couldn't eat, he couldn't function. He was also fearful because he's like on that time of drought, he didn't even want to send Benjamin when, his brothers told him that he had to take Benjamin to go back to Joseph.
Right.
Long story short, all of this could have been avoided had Jacob just said, let me reach out to God to find out what this dream is all about. That was a prophetic destiny dream that Joseph had that was not cultivated, that was not pursued, that was not nurtured because the parent didn't allow it.
Right. Wow. All right. So I see in the book you talk about symbols, dream symbols. Explain that and what some of these mean.
Okay, so I want to say, first of all, with the dream symbols, most of these dream symbols are the ones that I studied to find out, because, scientists would say these are the type of dreams that children normally would dream about. You got the superheroes, you got the fantasy stuff, you get all those other factors, you get colors, you get numbers, etc. Now, even though I pursued those particular symbols, I would always say, and I actually said it, always ask God what the interpretation of those dreams are first, and then you can go ahead and see where he wants to take you with that. And in those dreams also, in those symbols also, you would find the biblical references for them. And then I also want to share that even though you have symbols can mean various things. They have multiple meanings, right? So, for instance, the color white can be demonic, and it can also be spiritual,
Angelic.
Let me tell you why. Because the Bible says the angel can come as a form of light, right? Right. So that can be someone coming in, in white attire, trying to look, all angelic, etc. But it may come and pursue you in a way where it can damage at some point your destiny or destroy your destiny. So being mindful of that. That's the reason why I said that when you have these symbols, ask Holy Spirit, what do you mean by this? Or what does this mean? So that I can know if I can put this in the category of, hey, this is from you, or this is something that is detrimental that I have to pull down and pray against.
Right. And you mentioned in the book that asking where the dreams are coming from God.
Where they come from, because they can come from various means. And the tool that I mentioned here, I didn't want to go into too much details because it's a children's book, right? But the two that I stated are, heavenly dreams or godly spiritual dreams, and then you have demonic dreams that are from the kingdom of Satan. Yeah.
Wow. So
but they're also about, can I say that? That's not in the book. You do have bodily dreams, or they say body dreams, meaning that these are dreams that you cultivate, because these are things that you consider or thought about or continue thinking about during the day.
Right. Things that happen to you.
And then you just be like, you think about it so much that it actually came within your dream.
Yeah. So which one is more common? Would it be, as you say, the bodily dreams, or does it depend on the child?
It depends on the child, but I can say when God wants to speak, he speaks, right? But what I've noticed, though, too, in all of this is that depending on your environment as well, you could have a lot of demonic dreams. Because children find themselves listening to different musics, demonic music, watching things that they shouldn't be watching. They have the parents who doing some things that the children aren't supposed to be looking at, putting them in that environment. So you have dreams of fear, that's cultivated and birthed within the children. So you see children coming to their parents. They screaming, they crying. I had this dream. I'm scared. They don't want to go back to sleep. They want to leave the light on. Some children talk about how they seeing things in the night in their rooms. You have children that talk about how they hearing things, someone touching them, all these various things that take place within the dream, believe it or not. Yeah.
Is it? You mentioned you watched a movie you shouldn't have watched, a TV show you shouldn't have watched.
Certain shows bring about. Dwight, I don't know how far I could go, because I want to respect your audience. But to be honest, you do know that spirits are in different movies and cartoons and music. You're aware of that? Can I say that?
Certainly seems so.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So obviously when you place your child in that environment to watch or hear and see these things, then those things come within those children. Yeah, wow. And then in doing that, because you open up that door for them, or that there's that gateway for them, then the enemy would always say, hey, I have a chance. Let me go. This is my playground. Let me go and pursue that. Right? Wow. And then I can also say for children who operate in disobedience to their parents, the enemy would always find loopholes to try to destroy a child's life when they operate in disobedience, especially if their parents are godly parents, right? Because if the enemy cannot find or pursue, take over the parent, they're going to try to pursue the child.
Oh boy!
So what you want to teach your children also is to continue to repent. Live a lifestyle of repentance. Yeah, you may have stolen the cookie out the cookie jar. You may have lied and say you did your homework, but you didn't do it. Go repent. Whatever disciplinary action you do before that, that's fine. But at the end of it all, repent, so that you have
haunting your dreams.
Right. Right.
All right. So with those symbols, these are. You did some research to find out what these means. I see you talked about what a snake, dreaming about a snake would mean. How did you come up with the definition and understanding?
The definition and understanding, like I said before, they are biblical. So you would go and you would hear, for instance, we all know, I don't think, now I'm not going to judge, but I don't think that there's any positive meaning for a snake, right? We know from Genesis, we spoke about, the Bible spoke about how the snake, the enemy came in the form of a snake, right? So he's deceptive. From then that the snake is deceiving. And then there are scripture references that talk about, hey, we're going to crush the snake snake's head with our heel. You know, and in Luke 10:19, God says, I'm going to give you power and authority to trample over snakes and scorpions and over all the powers of the enemy. Meaning that symbol, if you have snakes in your dream, clearly it's demonic. Clearly it's some form of witchcraft. Clearly it's something that is trying to attack you while you are asleep.
Wow. So many questions. So are these different for children than for adults?
No, those symbols, they are across
Mm-hmm.
the board, I can tell you. But I use this particularly for the parents so that they can have some idea, or at least be able to go to the biblical references, you know, to see, okay, how can I find a revelation for this, or to understand what it is that my child is telling me. Yeah.
So again, why is it you have it as a journal? You can write down, and as you say, you
can draw.
Why is that important?
Dwight, that is important for numerous of reasons. One, you want to be able to identify your child's destiny, like I said before. You know, when God speaks to a child, he even in Job chapter 33, verse 14, he says, once I speak, twice you ain't into me, you ain't tuning me out. So I can have to wait till you go to sleep. Then I'm going to pour my instructions and my insight in you to deter you from pursuing the gates of hell. Meaning that I'm only putting on my own words, by the way. So meaning that I want to give you warnings. I want to let you know that, hey, this is what is to come should you continue going down this line. So that's one. You get the warnings, you get the destiny, and you're able to identify if a child is going through emotional trauma, because you may have a dream where a child is always fearful about going to school or something in that manner. So it's a conversation starter. So something for you to be able to bond with your child so that they can actually open up to you and tell you, hey, I'm going through this. Based on what you told me, are you going through something? Is everything okay at school? What is happening?
Yeah.
You know, so you're able to identify emotional, spiritual, mental issues that your child may be having. All of that can be done here.
Yeah. Wow.
Right?
Wow.
You write that down, and then there are some times when someone had already started. In fact, a couple people had this book before I did, because it was already on Amazon. You know, it would take 100 years to come over here to us, right? So here it is that a lady told me that her daughter had a dream, but it was a demonic dream. So, but her daughter was unable to describe the dream. So she didn't even write it. She drew it. She drew the dream, but it was just black. Just black. She used black crayon, just drawing. And even though she couldn't identify the image per se, that's the best way that her daughter was able to explain it. So something as simple as that, where you just drawing something, I mean, I'm laughing, but it's true. You drawing something black, a black figure, that is a matter of urgency to say, how can I help my child? How can I pray over my child? How can I pull down these things to ensure that it doesn't impact their life?
So this journal is created to basically be used in tandem with the parent and the child.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You want to do that. Now, the dream book can start as early as the child is able to articulate their emotions and their feelings. They're able to come to you and say, hey, mommy, I had a good dream, I had a bad dream, this is what I saw, etc. Straight down to about age 12, because I have another book coming up for the teenagers. So this one is specifically for them, and then the teenagers would be a little bit more detailed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's take this call. We're talking with Strachan Hannah. Her book is Children's Dream Journal. Caller, you are on the air.
Hey, make sure she's Dwight and the guest. How you doing?
Doing well.
Hey, I asked your guest, right, how she explained the ambulance have a snake around it. You ever notice the ambulance, right? The picture of the ambulance, the symbol have like a little snake around it.
The staff
how you
help.
explain that?
Okay.
I'm unable to explain that because I don't know how they formed. I don't know how that was formed, but that is actually something to look into. But I don't know how they were able to form the symbolism for that.
You realize people who gamble, right? Is depict their dreams completely different than you, right? Black crayon, that sounds like 66666 to me. That just dropped. Must be the day before yesterday.
So you think the little girl was dreaming about that? Yeah, okay.
Well, they'll tell you there's a number in everything.
There's a number. Numbers, listen to me. Everything that, and I'm glad that he said that, that's powerful. Let me tell you why. Everything that God creates, the enemy will always try to mimic. Everything. When you see these soothsayers and these people come in talking about they have these prophet liars and all these different things, right? They come in. Initially, they had the gift to work for the kingdom of God, but they decided to use it for the kingdom of darkness. So when you have people who come in with their dreams and they dream but 666 and they dream but these other numbers, and it is true, sometimes the numbers do come into fruition, right? But that doesn't mean that is of God, The enemy uses spiritual things too, and that is why I'm always telling you, everything that takes place in the spirit has to manifest in the natural, unless you pull it down or you destroy it. Yeah. And there are some things that, God allows that I don't care how much time you pray. When he says it, especially if a dream is done similar to Joseph, where it's done twice or if it's repetitive, right?
Did you look it up? If you were looking it up. Yeah, you found it?
We saw it, though. We saw it.
So
that's
text
interesting.
it in as well. So, according to ChatGPT, the snake on the ambulance is biblical. Oh, what? Is it? No, anyway,
go ahead.
Referring to how the snake was held up by Moses and the people looked at it and were healed.
Okay.
But there's also the Greek aspect of it as well. So it's from the ancient Greek god Chrysippus or something like that. Can't pronounce it. But they believe that the snakes are about rebirth, immortality, and things like that from the Greek standpoint.
So I was going to ask you, is there another symbol that on the surface might seem negative?
Dog. Let's use dog.
But it's positive.
Yeah. Let's use the symbol of a dog. A dog can seem friendly. A dog can be your best friend. You know what I mean? Loyal. But in another aspect, a dog can also be harmful, right? Demonic aspect of it, I think it was Jesus who said, I won't even eat the crumbs or something like that from the dog, or even the dog eat the crumbs. I can't remember how the scripture goes. You have dreams where a dog will bite you, right? So when a dog bites you, automatically that's demonic. Automatically that's from the kingdom of Satan, right? Because whatever it is that he's doing, he's trying to cause you to he wants to initiate you in some form into the kingdom of darkness, one, and then he wants to form agreement with you in your dream so that whatever it is that he wants to impart, it can come into fruition in the natural.
Wow. So what about sleep paralysis? What does that mean?
When people have sleep paralysis, and that's a good question. Now, I don't want you to think that some deep person who know about all these different things, but I can tell you from the surface, right? In cases like that, it also depends, because you have some people who take medication, that's different. When they take medication, they're unable to sleep, so they'll stay up for a while or whatever have you, and they have certain dreams that it's this also causes the bodily dreams because of the medication, right? And then for those who go to sleep and then they can't go back to sleep, right? Or they have issues sleeping, I can honestly say it depends on the individual. Okay. Because you have, and this is what I told someone yesterday.
Kids do have that too.
Kids have that. But like I told someone yesterday, sometimes it could be that God is waking you up to say, hey, I want to spend some time with you. I want you, because this is the middle of the night. This is the time where the kingdom of darkness does their deeds. You have witches, warlocks, etc., who come out in the night and they do spells and conjure up spells on individuals. So if in those moments and those times when you feel as if you can't sleep in the middle of the night, go read your Bible, go pray, go spend some time in that quiet moment. Okay? Yeah.
Okay.
So like I said before, some things are medical, but most things are spiritual.
Yeah. All right. We're running out of time. Let's take this call really quickly. Caller, good morning. You're live on the air.
Yes, good morning to Dwight, Carter, and your wonderful guest.
Hi.
Good morning.
An interesting word, soothsayer, right? I don't claim to be a soothsayer or a dragon slayer, but I'll share this with you, and maybe you could help me with this. I, for some reason, and I spent long stints in the hospital, and I noticed that whenever I go into surgery and I come out, I would always have dreams, and it was every night, like for weeks, you'd just be dreaming, and when you wake up, you'll be glad that it is not true, right? And so, a lot of people, I don't know what, for me, I look at life philosophically. God evil exists in man, and so Satan only can use humans to do evil. God really don't need us, but he uses us. So the difference is God don't need us. Satan needs man in order to do evil. But I'll say this. About almost 30 years ago, say about 20-something years ago, 21, 25 years ago, just about, I had a dream. And this dream actually happened, like when I got up and went to go home, the dream actually came true. And I dreamed this about a couple hours before it happened. And it actually happened the way I saw it, because a friend of mine promised to give me a ride home because my car was in the shop. And on my way home, exactly what I dreamt is what happened. I don't want to say what it was, but I don't know what it is, but it's exactly what happened.
Wow.
And so I don't know how to juxtapose dreams. But as it relate to numerology, I really don't think it has anything to do with the devil. A lot of people, like I say, the devil uses human beings because the devil is not effective without us. And just it's good to let people know that. Give thanks.
Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
I don't really understand what he's trying to say, because, like I said, everything that God does, the enemy mimics. So, as far as numerology is concerned, yes, the enemy uses that as well. And if you don't know, you could go in the Bible and see 666 there. That can explain his number. You know what I mean? And so many other symbols, so many different numbers, that can identify the enemy, and numbers that can also identify holy numbers, holy beings and holy things. So
the phone lines are lit up, but we're running out of time. You got a book signing, right? Tell us about that.
Okay, well, tomorrow, the big day, that's the big day. We're going to be down at Template, located on Jerome Avenue at 2 p.m., where the books will be sold. The books are going for $25. They're $26 on Amazon, $25 here without VAT, and then there'll be $27.50 to the various locations and vendors that will be selling them after tomorrow. Okay, and so during that,
Template is on
Jerome Avenue. Yes. So if you're heading up, where it's Wolf Road and Jerome intersection that meet there, Scotiabank, you're heading up north. On the left, you'll see Classy Kids, where they're right opposite.
Yeah.
Classy Kids.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So we have a little program, very tiny program. A guest speaker is coming in to talk a little to the kids. We have little games at the end, finger foods, drinks, etc.
Excellent. Very
T-shirts will
exciting.
be on sale as well.
And of course, Sunday, 3:30 here on Guardian Radio, Your Lane. What do you have set for Your Lane on Sunday?
Next week, this coming Sunday, we have a guest, an international guest, who'll be talking to us about the various types of dreams and how to identify the demonic dreams within our children. And then we're ending the month of September, because the entire month we're talking about children's dreams. We're ending the month of September with a very popular TikTok influencer who spoke about their dreams as well. And so they're going to be sharing the fact that their dream that they had, where the enemy was covering up their eyes in the spirit, and they weren't able to, because they knew or identified that that person was going to be prophetic in the future. So all of that, like, how do I know if my child is prophetic? How do I know that my child has a calling? He's going to explain that, and that's the very last Sunday in this month.
All right. Strachan, Hannah, thank you so much for being here. Again, it's a Children's Dream Journal, and again, the book's signing tomorrow at 2 p.m. at Template.
At Template, Jerome Avenue. Wait, before you go, let me just say my sponsors. I want to say thank you to Template, CT Management, Bahama Odds and Ends, Party Supplies, Bake Party World, Job 3314 Dreamwear. They've been so amazing to me. Thank you so much to my sponsors.
Okay, great stuff. When we go off air, I'll tell you about some dreams I had as a child.
Oh, gee.
And a dream I had this week. Yeah. All right. We'll talk about that. This is Morning Blend. Stay tuned for business. We're going to be talking about unbossing. What in God's name is that about? We're going to find out. Stay with us.
Starry skies, maybe to an astral plane, cross the highways of fantasy, help me to forget today's pain. Ooh, dream weaver.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, September 19th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Ricardo Wells. And it's time for our HR series. I haven't had it for a couple of months, but it's so good to see Ahmad Rashad Thompson again. Good morning, sir.
Great
to have
morning,
you back.
brother. How are you? It's great to be back, man. Thank you for having me again. It's great to be back.
Wonderful
excited.
stuff. Wonderful stuff. All right. So this topic, interesting one today, unbossing.
Yes, sir.
You know what unboxing is.
Yeah.
What's unbossing?
Yeah, so unbossing is this concept. It's actually twofold. If depending on your audience or your vantage point, you are considering this from two different perspectives. The first is this concept that young people, millennials, Gen Zs, the lower end of the millennial spectrum, so those closer to Gen Z, those who are like 26 to like 32 maybe, are less interested in becoming leaders, like official leaders, like give me the title, give me the position, give me the job, because they've recognized that some leadership is toxic. Some leadership is just overrated, it's just y'all doing too much. I only want to come to work, change the world, and go back home. This whole politics and who don't like who and who come to this and I don't like her so she can't come, they're just over it. They want to come to work or do work that matters to them, that will help the world around them and that will change the world around them. And so there's less interest in having the official titles, if you will. They want to do the work. They want to be engaged in work that's meaningful, that's purposeful, that's going to connect some dot. But they wish not to be involved in all the drama that comes along with being an official leader. On the other side of this conversation is this whole idea of this conversation between manager and leader, right? Tyrannical leaders versus inspirational leaders. So unbossing also suggests that you should come off of your soapbox. This is not about micromanagement and helping people, causing people to be miserable at work and you yielding around your title in your office and your so on. So it's about giving people the opportunity to really thrive at work, to be a part of an environment that allows them to be themselves, to explore new ways of doing things, to explore new perspectives. And it's saying goodbye to the whole notion of micromanagement, do what I say, don't watch what I do, mind your manners, all of these things. This whole authoritarian approach, tyrannical approach to leadership that is so obsolete, so outdated, so nobody's into that. Even generations that are now my father's age, like I always talk about my dad before he retired, even those people are now even people in that age category, forgive me y'all, are realizing that the world has changed. And you don't have to conform to the world, but you certainly should be moving along with the trends that are going to support productivity and effectiveness in the workplace. Right. And many people young people specifically, are shying away because they see, the word that's coming to my spirit is dumbness. They see the dumbness, Dwight, that nobody got time for. Like, it's really, it ain't smartness.
Right.
So if it ain't smartness, it's got to be dumbness, in between. Why are you, people don't have no time for, people are not interested in the same old way of leading. Young people today, I was in a session yesterday and I was in the room and I was talking about this multi-generational workforce we now face, right? First time in the history of the planet, like from God make the earth, this is the first time ever we've ever had up to 6 generations working in one organization. In that room were 17 individuals. 2 of them were Gen Zs. About 8 of them were millennials. The difference was Generation X. And I created this slide that said, which one is running the hottest? Like which generation just piss you off the most? And each of them was like, y'all. And I'm like, but y'all, if you understand the magic that exists.
We know the answer is millennials, though.
No.
Joke. That's a joke.
The thing is, right, if people recognize the power and the opportunity that exists when multi-generational workforces are thriving, the way a 24-year-old will solve a problem is not the way a 54-year-old will solve that problem. And if they come together with the experience, the know-how, the wear and tear, with the man, listen, I got a 2.4 second way to approach that, life is different. I'm talking about 2.4 seconds. They will pick up their phone and in just in the blink of an eye, here you go, my here's your solution.
Yeah.
What you do? Like, what you talking about? And I think we have to embrace this notion that the workforce, if you want employees, the only people you can employ now is Gen Zs. Millennials either already working for themselves or they good with their job. They straight. Older persons in generations, in baby boomers and Generation X are about to retire and are coaxing. Not all of them, but some of them. And so the workforce, the pool to choose from now is Generation Z. Anybody between 12 to 25 is Gen Z. Right? So in short order, you will also be, another 10 years or so, you'll be having alphas in the workplace. My niece is 8. In 10 years, she'll be on somebody's job. Hopefully not. She'll be an entrepreneur, making billions of dollars, taking care of her family.
Right.
But when, if the Lord spares time, she will be in somebody's organization. And I can tell you, the generation that she is in is 100% comfortable challenging anything. Anything. Like, why? Tell me why. Explain to me why must I? She's 8 years old. I was doing a workshop this week, Dwight, and I had a brilliant God idea. It was like, come straight from the Holy Spirit. I'm like, bam, this could hit. And it was using egg. Remember in high school, you may have seen it on TV where they used the egg as the child?
Right.
And they take care of the egg for the weekend or whatever. I thought it would be brilliant to have this group of people I was working with to have this egg as a guest for the day. And so you're walking around, you're helping, there's challenges that we created to take care of this guest, protect the guest experience. And so in my mind, I'm thinking this egg thing is going to be spectacular. I go to the store, I get my 3 dozen egg, this could be hitting. So my niece says to me, Uncle, where are you going to be doing the session? And I said, at the client's venue. So she said, no, I mean, is it inside or outside? I said, inside, baby. Our uncle can't take the heat. It could be inside. So she was like, so hold on. They could be using raw eggs inside? What happens when it breaks? I'm like, that's the point. You want it to break, baby, because there's going to be some challenges. Life isn't, all, the eggshell won't always stay uncracked. But uncle, egg is stained. Eggs smell bad. So I have but 14 degrees. I've been to good schools all my life. I've had good job. And as I am 30 years her senior, there's a little girl in absolute brilliance and no account for disparity in age, no account for disparity in ability, is saying to me, this is nonsensical. You're going to cause more harm than good. And I'm like, little girl, first of all, you're right, but second of all, go run, because I shame. While I'm shame, I'm also enlightened, right? And the point I'm making, Dwight, is that you will have a 24 in your mind child, but big one adult, telling you, showing you a different way, not necessarily a better way, but a different way. Uncle, why don't you hard-boil those eggs? So as they fall, they won't break. They may just crack.
Right.
I'm
That's
like,
a very good
what the
idea.
lick?
I actually thought you were going to do that.
I did not have that nowhere in my mind, right? I ain't old as a young boy.
Oh, wow.
As a young boy, I said, I ain't nowhere close to old.
Didn't you think it was going to be boiled already, Ricardo?
No,
really?
Yeah.
I thought it would have been.
Wonderful.
But anyway,
I'm glad that your mind automatically went there. But this also clearly displays what happened, the magic behind perspective. Sharing an idea with your team, getting consensus, hearing different viewpoints, or points of view rather, on the same idea. What if? Have we considered what happens when this happens? I was going to be indoors on carpet. The people's got to charge me instead of me charging them.
Wow.
So she saved me all kind of time, money, and heartache. The people's going to be in their good clothes. What happened when the egg juice go on there?
Hire her now.
Come on, now you are my CEO.
Yeah.
I wait for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that is just the power of multi-generational conversation. You believe you have it all together. But what if somebody has a different perspective, a different viewpoint that they can say, now, wait a minute, have we thought about the impact on so-and-so? What about our so-and-so? How are we thinking about the so-and-so? And then all of a sudden, I never thought about that. One change. One change. She didn't say, this is a stupid idea, uncle. You saw this and you saw that. She said, man, listen, if you can do this, you might as well do it right.
Okay.
You know?
So many questions.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
so going back to the unbossing, you said there are two different types. Are you seeing one that's more prevalent than the other, where you just don't want to be the boss, or the people who just are opposed to micromanaging? Which one is more prevalent?
I would say the ones where the younger people are avoiding or very selective about roles they take on that require leading, like official leading. Because let's be very clear. Those leaders that are focused on their title and tenure are not leaders. They are people in office that somebody give them.
Yeah. So is it because they're just too young and don't have to pay for college for folks and have to buy a mortgage and and they don't understand that, that you should want the title because that can give you more money and stuff? No?
They see opportunities to make money all over the place.
Okay.
You see opportunities to make money being in an office.
This is me a few months
right? Like they can make money doing anything, anywhere, anytime, anyhow.
Oh, wow.
But the establishment says you must find a good job. You must go behind the brick and mortar. You must sit behind the desk. Toe the line. Bull rag. These people are interested in opportunities that will serve them and that they can serve.
Yeah.
And so when they recognize that I can have purpose, I can have impact outside of this four walls, outside of this political foolishness, outside of this, you say, I say, he say, she say, I could still have impact and do what I want to do when I want to do it, not necessarily recklessly, but without the reins that come along with office politics.
Right. Now, you're not saying quitting your job.
No.
You're saying you still working.
In some cases, yes. In some cases, yes.
Okay.
I'm avoiding this whole established thing altogether.
Yeah.
I'm literally going to do my own thing, right? If we look at the way the world is evolving, Dwight, there are billionaires that that talk on a mic. Now, Dwight, I speak in some in real life, you own that. There are billionaires that turn on the camera and speak into a mic and play game. They put on their wig. They put on their eyebrow. They show you how to wipes or the wipes. They're making gajillions of dollars by being themselves. Not having to go into somebody's office, toe the line, deal with Mary and her foolishness, John and his pig-headedness, so-and-so over there. Don't talk to me because she mad at them. Look, man, fire bun. I can do what I want to do, I want to do it, and I can make this money.
Right.
Now, there are still young people in the workplace who have great potential. I was in a session a couple of months ago, Dwight. I was talking to two individuals, two young people, one lady, one male, one female. One is 23, one is 26. Potential is like rimming over. I just mean ripe. And I'm saying, so what's your plan for how do you plan to move forward in the organization? Move forward. So I got one car to buy, this gentleman. I have one car to buy. I set on a car. I ain't got no money right now. I'm working for that money. When I get that, all the best.
I had a similar conversation with, I'm not going to call the fast food restaurants there, but there was a young employee there. And he said the exact, it's like, you realize that wrong, right? He was like, that's what they get from the back. That ain't on me. I just here to make sure I can pay my bills and go home. He didn't want the stress. He didn't want none of that. He's like, we can remake it, but that ain't on me. Don't take it out on me, sir. And I had to respect that.
Wow.
The perspective is different. When my parents were coming up, my grandmother is 90 years old. She turned 90 on September 3rd. Happy birthday, Grammy.
Happy belated.
She was of the opinion that you got to work. You have to work. She prayed for me the other day. She said, son, I want you to be old and able to do your work. Now, not your job. You got to hear me now. I'm talking in the spirit. To do your work. Whatever God sent you to do, be able to do that work relentlessly. No issues. You ain't hurting, your back ain't do, you could work. Fine. But there are people in this world who confuse work with job. What you come to do every day don't mean that's your work. Now, the Gen Zs and the millennials on one side of the spectrum are focused on the work they've been called to do. They want to, if they get a job, that job should support their ability to do the work they feel compelled to do. They want to be connected to purpose. They want to be connected to what's going to make a difference. People in the baby boomer and Generation X generations, and even some millennials closer to the Generation X, are concerned about providing for my family.
Right.
Taking care of a need, having stability. I can't work in certain industries because hotels is a slow season. I got to be able to pay my mortgage every day. And so their concern is more stability, security, stickability, right? But the younger person is saying, miss, if y'all run me hot today I gone and I ain't calling you back. You could just miss me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you don't think that it's because of their age that when they get old and they start having kids that things will change and they'll be like everybody else?
I don't think so.
No.
Because that generation will be the Generation X. And that generation will be the example to follow. So many millennials did what their parents did. Many, not all, but many. My daddy had a good job, I can get a good job too. My daddy didn't build a house, I can build my house too. My mommy done was so-and-so, I can do so-and-so too. So they saw how now every generation compounds and expands the generation before all. So I'm not saying that Generation Zs and Alphas will not adapt or become employees or whatever. I'm just saying that the way they will do it is totally, totally different.
Yeah.
I was saying two young people. The young lady said to me, "Sir, what I see these managers going through around here, in no way I enter that. Let me create impact right where I is in my little so and so." Where I can talk to my crew here, talk to my crew there, even talk to the CEO over there. But I ain't got to be in your meeting, on your 5-hour or whatever call. Look, man, run my money. Let me do my work. And if this work somehow bores me one day or I'm tired of it, I will move on to the next opportunity. And they're not thinking about, how I can do. Somehow it will work out. My faith tells me God will provide. Their faith may tell them the same thing, or they may say, you know what? Opportunities are there, damn it doesn't. I ain't got to work in this country because I live in this country. They see opportunities globally. And so when you now find yourself leading a team of Gen Zs, millennials, alphas, well, not alphas yet, just Gen Zs and millennials, you need to be mindful that they do not see the world the way you do.
So what does this mean for the future of business? I mean, things will have to change
Yes,
quite a bit.
one word sounds to me, evolution. Be ever evolving. If you wait, you lose. This is the time to bring your Gen Zs, your millennials closer to the conversation. Hey man, what are we missing? What is not being accounted for here? What is the world saying about this issue, that issue? How are we either in line with that, outside of that perspective, or how are we trending in the way of favor or disfavor? Are we doing the right thing? Are we considering the right things? How are our employees feeling on the ground? What are we not considering? And those different perspectives, that conversation yesterday was tremendous. Those two, and they were both female, both very bright, both very you're lucky, and both of them only been there for less than a year. And I said to them, you better scoop them up before the 1 year mark come. Because these people ain't hanging around for no dumbness. They ain't sticking things through because they should. If this doesn't serve me, I am gone, is the mindset. That don't mean they jumping ship and abandoning things, It simply means I am not prepared to be in a situation that is not going to make me better or I cannot make better. Yeah. They ain't doing that.
Wow. All right. So you mentioned it earlier about having the people together to collaborate and to run everything by. So is that what we're going to be seeing? More team leadership? Is that a solution? Is that a way to deal with this?
It's an option to explore. Why do I say that? Perhaps you treat that team leadership concept like a project management concept. So we want to roll out our new office decorating. Okay, let's say we change all of our software. We appoint a project lead for that. That's probably somebody in IT, right? But he needs support. He needs communication support. He needs outfitting support. He needs people to share the message around the office. He needs people who will look at the aesthetics and say, man, they're putting this thing in, this thing will work. What happens when I got to bend down and pick up my so-and-so? He's looking for electrical support, all of these things. Perhaps that same approach is taken to leadership. Right. Okay, we have an issue that we feel out of touch with. Right? Employee engagement results are lower than usual, or lower than they've ever been before. Our workforce is younger than it's ever been before. Perhaps there's correlation. So we bring in some of those younger people and say, listen, why are the people saying A? Well, boss, it's because y'all is do B. If y'all did less of B, you may see more of A. Right? Or, listen, these people don't have time for y'all regular, once a year employee engagement, employee of the year thing. They want more in the moment feedback. They want more in the moment recognition. They want things that are going to serve them. So instead of giving me a plaque at the end of the year, run me some money. Or maybe give me some Starbucks vouchers. Give me something to go. Give me an Amazon voucher. Give me one. Do something that will serve me, not what you were accustomed to doing 40 years ago. What you did in 2001 is absolutely no longer relevant. Yeah. In 2010, that ain't relevant. 2020, that ain't relevant, right? It's 2025. The man called you and tell you what ChatGPT say with a dream. He ain't say what he Google or what his Bible say. He say what ChatGPT say. Yeah. And that's the way the world works right now. Wow. And like anything else in the world, as it continues to evolve, so you have to so evolve as well. Otherwise, you'll be left behind.
I just want to know if companies around the country right now listening to that point. Because I go into so many offices and it's this weird thing where we feel like the building should not have a vibe. It's just a pale office,
come on.
outdated. And I'm like, how you expect people to work in this establishment? These people leaving multiple devices at their house.
Multiple.
They come in here to your office just to look
One
at
computer screen,
You
an
lose
ugly
them in
wall,
2
the
hours.
bathroom ain't do, ain't no fancy tea, only Lipton. I love Lipton tea, don't get me wrong. But that's I guess that's the Grammy in them and me. But people want variety. The right people want exposure. People want variation. And that's the thing about the other side of the unbossing conversation. When you find yourself holding on to your reign as a leader, you are losing all hope in your employees. Your employees are saying to you, man, listen, all the best. If you're only concerned about what you can get out of me versus what you can pour into me, on your run. They will leave you stranded.
Yeah. Wow. So what other changes to the structure of the company will you need? You just get rid of managers? You get rid of...
No. You need leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. What I'm saying to you now is to get variation on leadership. Perspective got to be different. We all can't be seeing the world the exact same way. We are troubled that way. My niece said to me, Uncle, you got to boil his egg. If she didn't come and if God didn't send her to me that moment and say, Uncle, what's going on? I would have been there in a big old hotel causing all kind of hell. And shame about it, But then still wrong and strong. We have to be able to appreciate and recognize perhaps the way you see the world can influence the way I see it too. I may not be able to change my perspective completely because of that. But I could appreciate, I never thought about it that way. And so now you need to include more of these young people. And the experience matters, right? Living life without experience ain't fun. You're bucking up all over the place, that ain't sense. But if you could look at Mildred's experience over 40 years in ministry, in public service, in customer service, in HR, and you could pick up this nuanced way of doing the exact same thing, but quicker, more efficiently, in a more timely manner, in a way that people get it right away. Communication is on the move. It's right now happening. People value what I call just-in-time learning and just-in-time recognition. We have an issue in the workplace, right? Rather than reacting to it, let's make a plan so that we can respond to it and then address it, and so it can't happen again.
Yeah.
Right? So let's just say we have an issue with an uptick in concerns from customers or guests talking about an issue on, let's say, employee rudeness, right? Okay, wait, this isn't normal. We don't normally get these kind of complaints. What's going on in the organization? Where is this stemming from? Which department? Which division? Who is the leader there? Who are the employees there? Right? What's the makeup of employees? Is it all female? Is it all male? Is it some older, some younger? What's going on? And when you recognize the analytics behind the problem, you realize this leader is 48 years old, 55 years old, leading 21, 22, 23. They don't see eye to eye. So they vibing. So because they vibing, the guests getting the vibe too.
Yeah.
I giving you what I can't give to my boss, and the boss giving you what he can't give to me. Because we don't see eye to eye, because I'm not connecting with you, I'm going to act out somewhere, right? So employees will start to come late. They'll start to drag their feet. They'll start to present themselves less interested. They'll start to break policies. They'll start to circumvent rules because I'm going to rebel somehow, right? And so when you realize now that the way I see it is not the way you see it, your job as the leader is to see it their way first. Understand their perspective. The Bible says, seek to understand, then be understood. It ain't your road or I road. Get over yourself. Understand that the people you're leading are saving your life every single day. They're making you the money. And your employees' pain points are your business profit points. What run on them hot can start to make you some money. If you listen to them, talk to them, engage them, you'll realize all they want is this. Now, sometimes that this is a lot, right? But you have to identify what that this is and then say to them, here's what I can do with this, for this, through this. Here's what I'm not able to do with, for, and through this. But engagement, a conversation, I've said this a million times on the show, The Right. Talk to your people. Nobody wants to be in any relationship where they're not communicated with. No one, nowhere. Your dog can be sad if you don't talk to him. The bird ain't a tweet if you don't talk to the bird. Your car can go one hot if you don't talk to the car and say, man, what you need? Cars just talk to you, but I need oil, I need gas. If you avoid it, what can happen? The car can shut down. So with your employees, this is very simple. Communicate, first of all, listen. Actively listen to your team. What are they saying? And then more importantly, what are they not saying?
Yeah.
I have to ask, why do you feel like that gap in particular exists with so many Bahamian
The listening
businesses?
or?
Yeah, the listening portion.
Because we've been told to do as I say. We've been conditioned to do as you're told, to listen and to be seen and not heard. Listen, man, This is the age of speaking up. No one wants to be stifled in their opinion, their words, their viewpoint. People want to be appreciated for what they can bring to the table. And if you choose not to hear me, I will start to either scream or start speaking at all.
So are there any dangers of going over the top, going too far, trying to appeal to Gen Z and to create this environment like where you have everybody required to rollerblade through the office or something like that? Is that
right? You said appeal. You're not trying to win anybody over, you know. You're not trying to gas nobody up. You're not trying to swing nobody. You are involving people. You are engaging people. You need varied perspective. I dare you to bring in your most capable Gen Z and your least capable Gen Z to your next 2 executive meetings. Talk things to them that are not overtly confidential, right? Because they can talk it. Not just them, but anybody. Plenty of executives come at the meeting. While in the meeting, they WhatsApp and stop telling them what's going on. So don't even think about it's the young people. It's everybody. Calm down. Anybody can talk about business. You're old, you're young, you're fat, you're slim, you can talk it. Now, you want to invite them into that meeting with advance notice. Listen, because they can, hold on, what you're trying to do, you want to fire me? Don't catch somebody off guard. Listen, man, John, Mary, we want your perspective on issue A. We haven't been able to come to a consensus on this. What are your thoughts? What are we not missing? What are we missing, sorry? Right. What have we not considered, right? And then watch what's going to happen. Mary and John are going to shock the daylights out of you. First of all, they may pick up their phone. Hold on, what'd you say? All you got to do is... Say it slower. Do it again. All you have to do is... there's no way it's that easy. Yes, all you need is to go buy this software, and we have the platform ready because watch.
I've actually seen
watch the magic unfold.
So crazy.
Wow.
Now, if you are a threatened, insecure, unwilling,
old person,
you got a 17.
Old mindset.
Okay.
The word. I don't want to say the word. You are an old mindset person. You cannot see forward. If you can only see backward, do not do this. You will be insulted and you can take it out on them people. Just stick in your own mindset and then watch your business fall away. But if you want real, tangible change, tangible conversation, like things that you can actually see, you could see the words come alive because they come alive. Right? Now, I said the least and the most because you want, again, varied perspective. What does the least in your mind among you have to offer? Right? Whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers, that you've done unto me. Bring the people in, because you're already paying them. Use them. Engage them. Utilize them. Empower them. That person is going to leave that meeting. Wait. They call, and the person know? They ain't the one you should have called, you know. They know better, like, I ain't know what to go. Me and I'm meeting this, bro. I ain't nothing to say. But I realize now, I have access. I have opportunity. I could come with an idea. All you want to do is try something new, manual.
Yeah.
Same old is done.
And as you say, the one you regard as the least might be the one that
come with this bright check. Because sometimes people don't because they haven't been given an opportunity to. I am having an event next week, Dwight. It's called DisruptHR, right? September 26th, next week, Friday. It's going to be at SLS Hotel. I'm going to talk more about it as we go through it, but I want to share this with you. The reason that I'm having this event, DisruptHR, as you may imagine, sounds like it's going to disrupt the concept of something. And what it is that it is a kind of slap in the face. Okay, you know Shift. We have the Shift conference every year. Consider DisruptHR like Shift on steroids. Or Shift like with the Holy Spirit. Right? Just empowered, just emblazoned. You have 5 minutes only to get your point across. The attention span of an average person today is 2.7 seconds. I think after like 8.7, I think the data says, I stop paying attention, I stop listening, unless it's really riveting and it's really captivating me. So you have 5 minutes, 20 slides that auto-advance every 15 seconds. You're not saying next slide, you're not saying, it's just auto-advancing every 15 seconds to get your message out there. If you can't change my life in 5 minutes, you can't change my life. Bottom line. So these individuals, again, Dwight, these people are coming to speak, 18 speakers. 2 people coming in from out of town. One is coming in from Honolulu, Dwight. The man is coming in on Thursday, September 25th, and will leave this nation on Saturday, September 27th, just to spend 5 minutes on a stage to get you to see the world differently. Another lady is coming in from Guyana. Same thing. Coming in Thursday, leaving Sunday morning. They're coming in, and people coming in from Grand Bahama, and of course, other speakers from Nassau, Bahamas. But the idea is, I am coming to help you to see the world differently. How you brand yourself, how you brand your company. One speaker's title is, your culture is a lie because you lie too. Wow. Your culture ain't nothing because you ain't nothing.
Whoa.
That's a bar.
Now, she's coming to help you to get something. How do you go from nothing to something in 5 minutes? Come to DisruptHR and find out. It's anyone that is tired of the status quo, Dwight. Tired of the same old, tired of just going through the motion. That world is over, it's done with. People want to see something new. They want to see something fresh. Not every day. I'm not talking about instability, I'm talking about variation. I'm talking about the ability to come to work and expect that today is going to be a brand new challenge, a brand new opportunity for me. Not the same old. You said the word, sir, growth. People want to grow. No one wants to be in an environment where they can't see themselves anywhere further. Wow. And many people have been creating environments where people's potential become the ceiling and not the foundation. Your job as my leader is to create an opportunity for me to build on the foundation of my potential, not reach the ceiling of my potential. Open the doors for me. Help me to come into the organization and create radical but impactful change. At the same time, empower me to be better, to do better, to have better.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And at DisruptHR next week, you will experience what it means, how to relook, how to look again, rather, or to look differently at the world of work. HR, leadership, business, entrepreneurship, branding, employee experiences, 18 dynamic speakers who all said to me when we had our speaker orientation call, these are not normal, when I say normal, these are the typical speakers, right? So normally you'd see a few faces at every conference in our country, which I love to see because these are my mentors as well. But these individuals only needed an opportunity, Dwight. And many people can't because they've never been given the opportunity. Some people will not go out and take it. That's not in some people's makeup, even though they should, because God says you have dominion. But anyway, some people just don't have that in them. They haven't unearthed it. They haven't unleashed it. Others of us will go and take it. But these individuals are coming to show you why they have a message, and everyone does. Wow. Leaders have an opportunity right now in this dispensation of time to create an environment where they can share their opportunities, share their feedback, share their experiences, and make a difference in the world.
What's the date again? September
26th.
26th. And how much is it, and how do people sign up?
September 26th, SLS Hotel, next week Friday at 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. You are able to invest $60 only.
You could send the entire cabinet.
I can tell you right now, all y'all come. All y'all come. In fact, and those looking to become cabinet, all y'all ride down the road. I got about 38 seats left. Oh my goodness. So that's really only cabinet.
There you go.
But you're already ride through. 38 seats. I think we have 38 seats left as of this morning.
Literally 38
seats.
Wow.
Only 125 people will be in that room. I need disruptors only. If you come in to leave there the same, don't worry about it. You can send you the video. Wow. If you want to go to work Saturday morning, Monday morning, and transform it, disrupted, be in that room September 26th. Tickets are $60. The lunch you've eaten this week costs more than that. Your lashes cost more than that. Your haircut costs almost as much as that. You and you're wasting money on your Starbucks all week. Shout out to Starbucks. Costs about $100. You done owe me $40. Come and change your life. You all know I don't do foolishness. I don't attach my name to nothing that don't make sense. We can't transform you and help you. 18 speakers from around the world in the Bahamas. September 26th, 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at the beautiful SLS Hotel at Bahamar. You will receive incredible opportunities to network, incredible opportunities to transform the way you see, don't go to work. You will receive something light to nibble on. Do not come there dead hungry. Something light to nibble on and something beautiful and refreshing to drink. You will have the opportunity to, of course, engage with these 18 speakers as well. Additionally, you're going to leave there transformed.
Excellent.
You're going to walk into a space that is not going to allow you to leave the same. You are able to join us and register at www.disrupthr.co/Nassau. Okay? You are able to join us on that website. You can go on our website, you can register. Tickets are $60 only. And I can tell you something. For all of that, you should really be paying me about $900.
Yeah.
But everything cool. I love you and I love you back. So come now, let's do this. Do not disrupt alone.
Yeah.
Change happens, not in a vacuum, but with collaboration.
All right, we've got some questions on our text line, and you can call in as well to Ahmad Rashad Thompson as we talk about unbossing. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. All right, so this text was saying, tell your guest, amen, the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Come on.
These new generation youth we have to keep up with. They are like race car drivers. I'm 61 years old. I see with my children, and I love them to death.
Now, for the race car driver or the passenger in that race car, buckle up. Buckle up. They're the drivers now. They're coming up. It don't make sense to resist them. It makes sense to engage them. Protect yourself. Put on your helmet, put on your seatbelt, buckle on, do what you got to do, say your prayers. But this is the way the world is moving now. And again, I'm not talking about conformity. I'm talking about engagement, connection, collaboration.
I'm still trying to see if this is good for anybody, though.
Yeah, Dwight. Okay, one time ago, Dwight, somebody look at you and say, this little boy ain't got no sense. This young boy ain't gonna make nothing. Look at you making sense every day of your life. I mean, you know what I mean? For the most part.
Yeah, kind of.
We all have our days. It ain't really sensible all the time. But at some point, somebody said to you, you ain't gonna make no sense. This generation ain't sense. It happens every generation.
Yeah.
My grandma said it about her generation. Her children said it about our generation.
Because we were supposed to be the slackers. And
Come on.
Yeah.
And now look at us changing the world day by day. Right? And so I think we have to be mindful that as the world turns, this is going to continue. If you want to live and you want God to spare our lives, people will be coming up that are younger than you. Different perspective, different way of thinking, and be prepared for this alpha generation.
But you really believe, because like you said, everybody else conformed eventually. You believe that this group will not conform.
Think about it. By the time they get where we are, the baby boomers, Generation X's, some millennials could be done gone, like from the earth.
Yeah.
They could be done gone. That's just the way time is.
Almost be a blank slate.
They could be them.
For them.
It will be them. Now, just like there are, my Grammy is 90, she's in the silent generation. She exists with that same great-grandchild who's 8 years old. They see the world completely different. But you know something? My Grammy appreciates more than some people younger than her, their perspective. These babies just know what they're talking about. My Grammy have a conversation with my niece for like 40 minutes. And they talk in real like conversation, you know? And I think it's important that we appreciate the fact that the perspectives of the world are changing. And you need to be able to embrace them or you will risk being left behind.
Wow.
Yes.
Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Thanks for reading my text just now. Ahmad Rashad.
Yes, sir.
I want to call you. I need to talk with you.
Yes, sir.
And Dwight, the perspective changes every hour.
Every hour.
The world changes, yes. We have to be on their run.
That's it. That's it, sir. That is it. You have to be on their run.
Wow. I need your number.
Yes, sir. 468-0192.
468-0192.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
if you're calling me, not you, sir. If anybody else calling me to talk foolishness, call your daddy. Don't call me. And I mean that. But you're welcome to call me, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Continue to get your text messages in. All right, so you're hearing this. You are in HR. You're the boss at the company, and you're wondering why you couldn't get any of these younger folks to step up to the plate. What should be your immediate step?
Stop thinking these young children don't want nothing. And young people, stop saying these old people ain't want to learn nothing. Stop that. Stop it. First of all, everything is spiritual, right? The words you speak are the things you see. Embrace the difference. There's magic, there's wonder, there's value in difference, right? So not an indifference. There's value and magic and wonder in difference. And when you connect, when you collaborate, when you bridge gaps, wonderful things happen in the workplace. Wonderful things happen all the places when you engage different perspective. Now, just because you're engaging the perspective doesn't mean you have to adopt the perspective. But you want to count that perspective in. You want to bring it in to the conversation. You want to understand the way this person is seeing the world. How am I not seeing it that way? What am I missing? What am I lacking? Where am I not focusing my attention when I should be? And if you adopt this mindset that young people can, older people can, and everybody will, we win. But telling me, these children, these old people, it don't work like that. I know plenty of people who are older than me, way older than my senior, that make absolute wonderful sense. And plenty of young people who make sense too. And then you have the same set of people who don't make sense too. Stop generalizing and start reaching out to people. Engage them, talk to them, chat with them, find out what they see, what they do, what they need, and then provide it. Simple as that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I also want to please, Dwight, if I can just mention our sponsors for this event. We have the Great Lifestyle Digital Media Group. We have Avanti Insurance Brokers. We have Picturesque Photo Booth. And we also have Triblock HR that are going to be joining us as sponsors. Are going to be at the event as well. I really encourage you to do the things that serve you. Invest in yourself. This is not the age to sit by and watch the world pass you by. Do the things that serve you. Go to conferences. Go to the YouTube webinar. Go to the someone, like, do the thing that's going to make you a better version of yourself. The world is changing. The gentleman said, the person who used the ChatGPT, right? The discussion comes up all the time, AI taking my job. No. The person efficiently utilizing AI and tools like AI or that involve AI will take your job. It ain't AI itself. No system can take your job. A system can enhance your ability to perform your job. Use those systems. Do not become replaceable because you choose to remain unadaptable. Does that make sense? That's a good word. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Do not become replaceable because you choose to remain unadaptable. That's on you. Not on the company, not on AI, not on ChatGPT. That's on you. Yeah.
Wonderful stuff, Ahmad Rashad Thompson. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
brother.
And again, Disrupt HR is September 26th at 6:30 p.m. Good luck with that.
Thank you so
we
much,
know it's
sir.
going to be great.
Indeed.
And we'll see you next month.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Great to be here again. If you need to purchase tickets again, it's www.disrupthr.co/Nassau.
Wonderful stuff.
Thank you so much.
We're going to take a break and be back to wrap things up in just a bit. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
In uncertain times, resilience is everything. That's why CFAL is inviting you to the Financial Services Event of the Year, the 2025 CFAL Pension and Economic Conference. It all happens Thursday, October 16th at 8 a.m. at the Grand Hyatt Baha Mar Convention Center. Under the theme Resilience in the Face of Global Uncertainty, this half-day conference is your chance to gain powerful insights on navigating today's shifting global economy. This is the premier networking and knowledge-sharing event of the year, and you cannot afford to miss it. So secure your spot today at www.cfal.com.
Screws and Fasteners World, Valpo Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Valpo Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, acknowledging at the Abaco Business Outlook yesterday that there is a lack in ease of doing business in this country, but he's imploring Abaconians to consider and to continue building businesses and partnerships and partnering with the government to advance development on Abaco. He says the issue of the ease of doing business or the lack of ease of doing business pains him personally. He explained that the island has attracted more than $1.5 billion in foreign direct investments that will equate to more than 2,000 jobs. He's stressing the importance of housing to accommodate employees for projects on the island, saying again, this is a problem that cannot be fixed by the government alone. And the Consumer Protection Commission receiving 190 complaints from January to August of this year. That's according to Chairman Senator Randy Roll. Also speaking at Abaco Business Outlook yesterday, saying of those 190 complaints, 153 were formal disputes, 25 were advisory inquiries, and 12 were referrals to other agencies. He explained that 82 of those complaints have already been resolved, and another 71 are under investigation. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Thursday, your market movers, Commonwealth Bank moving 4,600 shares, closing at $4.35, up 15 cents. Consolidated Water up 11 cents, closing at $6.79, and Emira Incorporated up 1 cent, closing at $11.35. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,012.83, up 0.08. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Ricardo Wells, thank you so much for being with us today.
2 days back to back.
Yes, and we're going to do part 2 of our Blueprint for Change.
Just let me know the date.
Next week. Tomorrow you got the accredited.
Definitely. Well, we don't have much Dolphin criticism to go on because they lost last night. So let me get it up now. I've been telling people the Dolphins is a horrible team. They don't want to believe me.
You keep saying put the Hurricanes in there, right?
That's what we
they
need
do
to
much better.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to all my Dolphin fans. Tune in tomorrow.
So you're not going to lay into them too much.
No. They need rest. But tune in tomorrow. We get into the NFL talk.
All right, 11 o'clock. Right here on Guardian Radio. Everybody have a great day. Have a great weekend. And back on Monday with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
Don't wait for a storm to arrive. Stock up on hurricane supplies, make home repairs, purchase a generator, and more this hurricane season with a Fidelity personal loan. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Your solution for rising gas prices and expensive car maintenance has landed. Brand new 2026 electric vehicles from BYD have arrived at Easy Car Sales. Imagine no more gas and major savings on maintenance. Test drive a BYD EV today and save thousands with the car that redefines driving. Visit easy242.com for our 3 locations, in-house financing, and more. Easy Car Sales, the only authorized BYD dealer and warranty provider in the Bahamas.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.